Tyson.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Nick Tys and Videotape. We're doing one of our favourite episodes tonight.
Yes, one of our favourite segments. What do we call it?
We rank stuff.
We rank stuff, that's right.
And tonight we're picking a year and we're picking our 10 favourite movies. We love doing this. We haven't done it for a while. If you go back into the archives, you can find a couple of different years that we've ranked. I can't even remember now off the top of my head. 99, I believe.
That's true.
2004.
2008?
Yeah, maybe.
2008?
Or 2007. Anyway, we've done it for a few years.
We've done a few.
Our
task. This is the first time we're doing the 80s.
Yeah, it is. Well, the whole idea was we wanted to rank our 10 favourite films from all the years we've been alive.
Yeah.
And we need to start doing it faster than once a year, otherwise we'll never catch up. But we're getting there. We're slowly getting through it. Today, we've picked our 10 favourite movies of 1989.
Oh.
We're celebrating the 30-year anniversary of these films,
Of
Nick.
1989.
Isn't that ridiculous?
That's a bit weird.
All these movies came out 30 years ago.
I was 8, I think.
Yeah, I was 8.
I would have been 9. No, I was 8.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Maths.
Math. Yeah, it's a little late in the day.
It is, but we're very excited to be doing this.
We
But before we
are.
do any of that nonsense, Nicholas, why don't you tell the
Tys.
people at home where they can find our show?
Absolutely. Well, thank you for joining in, ladies and gentlemen. We hope you've enjoyed what you've heard so far. Not of this episode, but of previous episodes, clearly, because it's only been literally not even a minute. But thank you for joining in. If you do like what you hear, please like, reviews, subscribe, share. That's a thing. Tell
You
your
can
mum,
share us?
Tell your mum, tell your brother, tell your cousin. Share us around. But yes, you can do that on Apple Podcasts, which is the major one, which helps our algorithm. But anywhere that you listen to podcasts, we would love that.
Yes, absolutely. Even if you want to spend a few precious moments and write us a review, that would be much appreciated.
Have you checked reviews lately, Tom?
I have. We're up to around 29 or so, which is really cool. I'd love to crack 30 by the end of this year. If anyone wants to jump on and be the 30th review, that would be amazing.
That's lovely.
But yeah, just keep them coming because every review helps.
Absolutely.
Luckily, I think we've only ever gotten 5 stars, maybe 1 4-star. And I'm like, well, hey.
What?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Well, I'm looking on Apple Podcasts right now, Tys.
Yes.
And I see... Oh, no, you're talking about reviews.
Yes.
Okay. I was going to say, we've got one more to be rated. Just a rating.
Yes.
We're up to 29 ratings.
Huh.
Reviews are a different story. Reviews are a different story.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, jump on the all the socials. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. Let me start that again.
Sure.
We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, and we are on Twitter. So if you care to follow us on there, sure. But if you would like to see what Tyson and myself are watching that we aren't talking about, you would follow us on the app that's called Letterboxd, which is we are big fans of.
We are. I think if you had been following us this week, in the last 10 days or so, you would have seen quite a multitude of 1989 films.
That's true.
And you might be getting a little bit of a sneak peek of what might be turning up tonight.
Or maybe not.
Exactly.
But yes, follow us on Letterboxd. Tyson's handle is TYS_videotape, and mine is NIC_videotape.
That's it. Get on, share the love.
Follow us a lot.
Follow us. Tell us what you're watching. If you follow us, chances are I'll follow you. I haven't followed everybody who's followed us, to be honest.
Well, I'm not going to commit to that. You can.
Yeah.
I don't know who you people are. Sorry. And if I do that, the algorithm of my friends, I'm not going to be able to see.
No, that's true. I start getting weird people that I don't know and what they've watched.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll take that back. I won't automatically follow you. Maybe if you send like a nice message.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Like a bit of a hey.
But if you, what we're saying is, if you are fans of this podcast and you do like what Tyson and I, our opinions on films,
sure,
perhaps follow us on the app.
Why not?
Yeah.
Nick, why don't we jump straight in because we've got a lot to talk about tonight.
We do.
To our feature press.
Let's do it.
And now for our feature presentation.
Okay, so Nick, rules of engagement. 1989. So what we do is we start at 10 and we work our way down to number 1. If one of us has a film that is higher on their list, we put that aside for a little bit and we'll come back to it when it reaches the highest point on either one of our lists.
I like it. I think it was the second time that we did this segment that we stuffed it up and the numbers were all over the shop. We had no idea. That was a good episode.
We get lost pretty frequently, which is amazing considering I have the movies and the numbers written
right next
down,
to each other.
Yet somehow we managed to make a real balls up of it.
Who knows?
But yeah, so Nick, we're also going to try break it up with a few little funny games and some reflections on 1989 as a whole, which we like to do. I do also have a few honourable mentions.
Should we do the honourable mentions first?
No, let's do it at the end because it might be a spoiler. That way people, if we say it now, they know that they won't find it in the top 10.
All right, fair deal.
But yeah, so Nick, why don't you kick us off, my man, with your number 10. What was your 10th? Now, just to be clear too.
Yep.
We do not consider these the best films of 1989. These are our favourite films. We have to be very specific about this because there are some choices on here that I cannot defend other than saying I love them.
Exactly, yes. And I hold that very, very close.
And I might not even have rated them particularly highly when I watched them. But they are the movies that I continue to watch, that when I am, I'll quote with my friends.
Or that have some nostalgic value. Maybe you watched them a lot when you were a kid, but you don't have watched them any recently.
And they have just an effect on my subconscious. Yes. I can just be doing a normal day-to-day activity and a part of that movie will reference what I'm doing.
Yes.
And it will carry me through and I'll have a little giggle about it.
Hands down, there is a movie in here that I'll mention. It is in my list, I will say that. But I think I quote the film itself probably once a month to my wife for some reason.
Just for
and it'll just come
reason.
out. It'll be something that we'll do and it'll just come out.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. But that's not this one.
No,
this one that I'm talking
your
about.
Your number 10, Nicholas.
My number 10 is Pet Sematary.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go on.
Stephen
Not
King's,
on my list.
Not on your list?
No.
Pet Sematary. Now, the reason that this is... I remember watching this when I was a kid. It was right into the phase of... I think I had just started at the video store and I knew who Stephen King was because of it. And I just chewed through his back catalogue.
Of course.
What can I devour? What's going to scare the shit out of me? I was of age where I could just hire all the horror movies I wanted. I started at A and went all the way through the alphabet.
Yeah, do it.
On the ones that I wanted to anyway. Pet Sematary was one of those ones that kind of stuck with me a little bit. Now, the movie itself... This is hands down one of those ones that I don't rate that high.
Yeah,
the
sure.
movie itself is not that good. It's okay. Is it scary? Probably back then. But for Nick, who was of that age, and I've got it, I own it. I've watched it recently, probably about 4 years ago.
Yeah, sure.
And it's just little things that scare me. And I've mentioned this before, is when the camera holds on something that's just normal, but it just holds on it a little bit longer than normal.
Sure.
And you're just kind of staring at it, and it becomes weird. You're like, okay, this is a little bit scary now.
Yeah.
But I remember there are so many distinct things that I remember about this film. The cat coming back to life, the big walk to the cemetery over the hill, and the cemetery itself was quite scary.
Yep.
What is the name of that ginormous actor that is in this film? He's a big dude. It's not the main...
Plays the old guy.
The old guy. What is his name?
God, no, I can't think of it.
You can't remember?
Now. No.
Is it...
No,
it's not him. That's all right.
He's got that great face.
He looks. Do you know who he looks like? He looks like Herman Munster.
Yeah, he does.
He looks like that. I'm gonna get the name. I'll get there.
And he's got the wonderful delivery on the sometimes dead is better.
Exactly. So good. But yeah. So I remember watching it. I remember getting very scared. It doesn't scare me anymore, but. It lingers there, like Pet Sematary. Like, oh yeah, watch that. It's quite scary. Not really, but still.
Yeah, it's one that I've never gotten around to watching, surprisingly, because I know I talk very highly of Stephen King, and I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
And I haven't read it either. I don't even know if I own it. It might be one of the books that I don't own yet.
Tyson.
Because a part of my collector's mentality is that one of my life goals is to own every Stephen King book, and I'm doing all right.
Nice,
getting through it, and sometimes I have 2 or 3 volumes because I really like certain covers, and I want that cover.
Yeah, I'm hanging to buy it, but I'm not going to buy it with a movie cover.
No. Yeah. No, go back. I've got
You got the original?
No, it's a print from like the 90s. It doesn't have Pennywise like Tim Curry on it though.
Yeah.
But it's not the original print. No.
Yeah. That's all right.
Speaking of random side story, I was at this weirdo op shop not that long ago.
You do this a lot, don't you?
I don't like op shopping.
Yep.
And it was like in the back room of a church, and it was only open for like 3 hours a week. It's the weirdest op shop.
And you bought a book that's only written in Latin, and you read the Latin.
And I read it out loud, and
sick
yes,
bastard.
now
and now Donald Trump is president.
Well done. I bought about the Antichrist.
God damn it.
No, but I just found this wicked hardcover edition of The Stand, the fully unabridged version, and the cover was like the best design I've seen so far of it. And I was just like, I'm buying this. I don't care how much it was. And I think it was like $6. I'm like, thank you. Done.
I'll take it.
Yeah. Anyway, that's my side story.
Nice. The actor I'm thinking of is Fred Gwynne.
Yes.
He's quite a haunting gentleman. But one thing that also did stand out, the spoilers for Pet Sematary, is because they buy a house. The story is these people buy a house. It's near the road, for those of you who don't know. And the road is quite known for trucks or big vehicles driving past at quite a high speed.
Sure.
And their child gets hit. And that scene is traumatic as hell.
Oh, yeah,
because the truck, he doesn't get hit by a car. No. He doesn't get hit by a motorcycle. No. It is a fully decked out semi-trailer of a truck. This thing is Optimus Prime to the nines, and Jesus,
that'll do some damage.
Yeah, stuck in my mind.
You're not coming back from that.
Not coming back from that,
unless, of course,
you have a Pet
Sematary.
I don't know about the remake. I might give it a watch. I've heard good things.
I've heard mixed things, like some really good reviews, some not as great. But I like the cast a lot. Mm-hmm. I think John Lithgow I really enjoy just his being around.
I love him. You're an idiot if you don't love John Lithgow.
So his involvement did sway me a lot. Same with Jason Clarke, who I really enjoy.
Oh, yeah.
So I think I will get around to it. But what stopped me is I wanted to watch the original first.
Oh, right.
And then
haven't watched it.
When you get that in your head, sometimes you just don't ever get around to it. I don't know. Like,
100%.
Maybe it's just me, but if I've got a stupid reason why I won't watch a movie, that almost lasts for like 4 or 5 years, and then I never get around to fixing that problem. Yeah. And movies have remained unseen because of that.
When I retire, it's just going to be a non-stop watching. If I get to retire, non-stop watching.
3 movies a day
of just
all day.
My God!
Because you start I'll treat it like a job. I'll start at 9 a.m. and I'll finish at 5 p.m. and I'll just watch movies in that time because you know what?
Exactly.
Shit's got to get done.
Exactly.
There's a lot of movies to watch.
Nick, you got to mow the lawns. Yeah, it'll get done.
Yeah, it'll get done. Weekends.
Yeah. Weekends. Jesus. All right. Pet Sematary, Tys.
Nice.
That's my number 10.
Way to kick it off. I like it.
Yep.
My number 10.
Number 10.
And we've done this previously. I like to reserve my 10th spot for something
we've already
questionable.
Talked about?
No.
Sure.
A questionable choice.
Right.
And there were a few options for this. There were a few that I was toying around with.
Oh, dear
There's
God.
a couple of Van Damme movies that came out this year that came pretty close.
Oh, yeah.
But I ended up going with a movie called, well, depending where you're from, it's either called Salute of the Jugger or The Blood of Heroes.
Is this the one that you told me to watch last episode?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
Now, I've ranked this at number 10. It is far and away the 10th best movie of this year. There's no chance of that whatsoever. But for me, I always found it as like this little kind of undiscovered gem that only I knew about.
Right.
That's how it felt to me because I watched it. I rented it because we've talked about it. It has the most badass cover. Like it has this kind of
Salute to the Jugger.
It has these two comic arms locked in a handshake with these huge guns. And
they've got spikes on the arms.
Spikes on the arms.
I know that
and you
cover
look
from
at it and you're just like,
days.
oh my God, this looks like the greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
And so when I watched it as a kid, I felt like I was kind of, in on this secret.
Right.
And it's even more so now because when I talk to people about it, they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? This movie is not real. Now, it's a movie, written and directed by David Webb Peoples.
Yeah.
Who wrote Unforgiven.
Nice.
7, I want to say. Wrote the screenplay to 7.
Okay.
I think. Oh, that could be incorrect.
7, as in my favorite 7?
Can you
really?
look it up for me? David Webb Peoples.
David Webb Peoples.
And didn't do much directing. Blade Runner. I think he wrote the screenplay to Blade Runner. Am I making this up?
And writer of Blade Runner, 12 Monkeys, Unforgiven, Lady Hawk. Oh, that's a nice one. But no.
Not 7?
No 7.
Okay, I'm thinking of someone else. That's all right.
But
and he did
those are pretty good. Gee,
great. Yeah, he's written a few great things. Didn't direct much.
Mm-hmm.
Heard him on a different podcast not that long ago and seemed like a really nice guy as well. It was a podcast about Unforgiven. And just a guy I was interviewing about the screenplay. Seemed like an absolute legend of a guy too. Yeah. Really just like squared away down to earth. Like, well, I just love writing.
How you going?
Hollywood's what it is,
Wow.
So this movie stars Rutger Hauer. Who else? Vincent D'Onofrio, Delroy Lindo.
Right.
And oh God, can you tell me the female?
I can't even find it just yet.
Search Blood of Heroes.
Blood of Heroes?
Yeah, and if you're on Letterboxd, that's the way you're gonna have to find it. And you will tell me Joan Chen. Joan Chen is the female lead.
Blood of Heroes.
And it's about this futuristic game where these people called juggers basically travel from town to town playing this futuristic sport where you set up a field with a few spikes at either end and you play with a dog skull. And the idea of the game is you have to get the dog skull onto your opposing team's spike.
Right.
And the way to stop this is with weapons, chains, like
a battle royale, if you will.
It's basically like let's just fuck each other up.
Shit.
And you've got 30 stones or 20 stones 3 times. There's a blind man that sits there and throws stones at a little tin, and when he runs out, that's the end of the quarter. Or the end of the term.
I need to watch this movie.
So what ends up happening?
Blood of Heroes.
Yeah, so they basically travel from town to town, and it's mainly focused on Rutger Hauer and Joan Chen and their relationship together, because she's like this new upstart who wants to go, and basically conquer the world. He's the one that's been around forever, who is like an old pro. He used to play in the professional leagues, but lost an eyeball. No, did something. What did he do? Oh, he got kicked out actually because he was like sleeping with someone's wife or something. It sounds like a made-up movie. I know. And so the movie ends up with just them leading their way back to the professional leagues, and him saying, "Look, I'll take you.
I'm going to train you.
I will try and get you a tryout, because it's really hard to get a tryout." And he's like, "We'll see what happens. I can't promise anything." And they travel, and it's the post-apocalyptic world design is amazing. There's a lot. I'm making it sound like it's really bonkers. There's actually a lot of like quiet moments of people just kind of living in this hideous world.
It sounds like Beyond Thunderdome.
Kind of. 4. Yeah, there's parts of that. Yeah. Like lots of similar costume designs. Yeah. Like you can tell this is one of those things where the costumes and props were all just leftovers from any post-apocalyptic set design they could find. Yeah. But I really love it, and I've always been really like just connected
I need
to it.
See this film.
There's like a shortened version for home video, which is a bit shitty. Like they cut out some good stuff. It's not really a director's cut. It's how it was originally shown. Okay. Yeah. They cut it for a few DVD releases. Okay. Try and find the original one, basically, which is hard to come by now. It's not really streaming anywhere.
Not streaming? Blood of Heroes. God damn, man.
But if anyone's got the old Force Video DVD from 2002 that used to be able to buy for $2.99 or something from JB Hi-Fi.
Tyson will pay for it.
No, I've got it. That's the shortened version, just to let you know. And it's not as good.
Oh, really?
I think you can get an overseas Blu-ray of the extended one.
It is not streamable anywhere.
Ever at all. Can't even rent it.
No.
There you go.
No.
So
good Lord.
I've made it easy for everybody.
You've made it easy.
That's my 10th favourite film of 1989.
What a nice 10. Good start, people.
Nick.
Good start.
What's your number 9, my man?
All right, I'm going to change it up a bit here.
All right, change it up.
All right, here we go. So this is actually the film that I quote. I have no idea why. No idea why. Russell, get your stuff. Anyway, it is... Who directed this? Oh, my goodness. So Joe Johnston, Tyson. Joe Johnston directed this film. He directed a lot of movies that I love.
Yeah, Joe Johnston's a great director. I can't actually think what movie this is.
This is Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
No way.
Yeah, at number 9.
It's not on my list.
This is I haven't watched this since the 90s.
Sure.
Only because I don't really want to. Because it holds that amazing moment of me just watching it on repeat. It wasn't even my version that I was watching. I was watching my best friend. His name was Corey Evans. He had it taped on VHS, and I borrowed his tape for like 6 months and just watched it aplenty. This movie, I thought this movie was very in the same sort of vein, but just dimmed down a bit as Back to the Future. So it was a little bit futuristic.
Yeah.
Like it was so with the sets and the fact that they were walking around in the backyard. There were so many great elements. The relationships were relatable to me because I was a kid. It was great. It was
there's a really
warming.
Effective like teenage romance in that movie. I remember as a kid being like, I really want them to get together.
Exactly. And they did at the end. Yeah, it was so good. Rick Moranis doing his thing. Like, Rick Moranis was gold in the 90s. If you didn't have him, you sucked.
Good old Rick Moranis.
Yeah. But yeah, I love this movie.
You're right. It is pretty underrated when you consider some of the kids' movies that have had much more longevity than this. And they made some pretty great decisions with this. The production design I remember is pretty incredible.
That's not bad.
That ant.
The ant and the scorpion match.
Oh, man,
do you remember the scorpion?
Oh, it's so sad.
It is. The ant he dies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we love the ant.
Exactly.
And all the ways that they obviously built the sets, the set design to be they obviously would build giant versions of everything and put them in it.
Exactly. The Oreo that they ate, they were
the Oreo
starving.
That they ate, there's the bit where someone's in a bowl of cereal, I remember.
Yeah, that's right.
That's clever stuff. And I remember it all being for a fantasy film as a kid.
It was huge.
I was you were blown away by this. It was you felt that's what it would be like if you shrunk down.
Exactly. It was it was just a joyous adventure. I remember it being not only funny, it was very quotable, especially with what is the name of the dad next door? Russell Thompson.
Oh my God, you're right. Is
it Thomas Wilson Brown? No, that's not him. It's he was he was in my head the whole time, and the fact that he's who I quote. He's so hilarious. Thompson Senior. Yeah, Matt Fuhrer. Fuhrer? Did you say Fuhrer?
Yeah, Matt Fuhrer. Is that who it was, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Matt Fuhrer, yeah.
From Watchmen, Dawn of the Dead, he's in 50-50, he's in tons of stuff.
Yeah, I know him best. He's the trash can man from the Stand miniseries.
And isn't he the axe guy from Last Action Hero? Isn't that him? No, I'm thinking of someone else.
No, that's no, never mind. That's Tom Noonan, isn't it?
Tom Noonan, yeah, that's right. But yeah, I was a massive fan of this movie. Like, there's so many moments in it, and I just don't want to spoil those moments and watch it again. I know that I'll want to watch it with my son and things like that.
Yeah,
like
it might not. I think it might
still
secretly hold up relatively well.
Yeah.
Can you tell me who directed?
Joe Johnston.
Oh, you did, yeah, Joe Johnston,
Captain America man.
Yeah, so that's
Jumanji.
Good pedigree.
Exactly. I'm sure it may. It's got to hold up. Like this thing. Everyone loved this movie.
I'd be really interested. That's kind of, now that we've talked about it a bit more. I saw the poster and dismissed it really quickly when I was making this list. But no, I think you've inspired me to go back. I'm going to watch it.
There's so many moments in that movie that I loved. Yeah, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids,
nice
number 9, man.
Number 9.
Yeah.
Well, my number 9 is amazingly the only sequel to appear on this list.
Oh.
Back in the days where sequels were rarities, I have chosen one to be the 9th best movie on my list, and that is Lethal Weapon 2.
Oh, we're gonna table that.
We're gonna table it. Beautiful.
Yep, 100%,
Nicholas, what's your number 8?
My number 8, Tyson. Oh, my number 8 is way down the list. Now, I'm pretty sure that most people haven't seen this, and that is fine. This movie is not new. It has been done a billion times.
I was about to say, because it came out in 1989, so it's definitely not new.
It's definitely not new. No, I'm saying that the story is not new. We've seen this on multiple times. This movie is called Lean on Me.
Yeah, very good.
Carry on. With the amazing Morgan Freeman. So this movie is so uncontrollably 80s. It's quite laughable.
No, you're speaking my language.
Exactly. So it goes in. You start this. This film was it was quite, I don't know, it's a little bit inspiring when I was a kid. Like it didn't get me to tell you the story of it. It's a principal that leaves a school. No, he wasn't even a principal. He was just a teacher at that point. Mm-hmm. But it was the 70s. It was short back in science, and everyone did their homework, and it was great, and it was lovely, and the school was clean as hell. He left because of some bureaucracy thing that was happening with the staff. He left, went to teach primary school. I think it was 9 years later.
Right.
And it's such a great transformation. You see the hall change from the clean cut what it is to the 80s, just as Welcome to the Jungle by Guns N' Roses just peels into this screen.
Nice.
And it's just graffiti. There's a kid getting kicked into a locker.
Yep.
There's just people throwing everything around. It's just chaos. And it's so good. And obviously the school board gets him back. His name, I love it. It's Joe Clark, and you get to say that throughout the film. Meet Joe Clark. Anyway. But yeah, he comes back and just cleans up the school. And he cleans it up in a way not like Michelle Pfeiffer teaching, her class in Dangerous Minds.
Sure.
He doesn't do it via Whoopi Goldberg teaching choir like in Sister Act. He doesn't do it like that either. He comes in and he's hard. Like he goes, okay, cool. All of the people, he goes to the staff and just tells them that you're the reason that it's like this. And just goes, okay, all the people who have either been in detention, suspension or whatever, I want them all over here. They get a big assembly and go, cool, you're all expelled. Leave.
Nice.
And they get kicked out, and from that point he goes, okay, we are here to teach. Let's teach properly. And from there, it's just a slow build up of rad montages, but it deals with a lot of serious things like teen pregnancy, what you're going to do after high school, the kids that are dealing in school, and what he catches them and goes, what are you doing? Like, you're either going to get an education and you're going to get a job and start your life, or you're going to go out there, you're going to deal drugs, and you'll be dead in a year. So it's up to you. What's your choice? And it's in the only way that Morgan Freeman can do it, in his amazing presence that he has.
I'd listen to whatever Morgan Freeman had to say.
100%. But yeah, and yeah, it's such a great movie.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Look,
not many people have seen it. You can't stream it anywhere, and it's not like it played on TV like Sister Act.
No, I know it did. I know I have seen it because I feel like we watched it at school.
May have watched it at school.
Yeah,
it's quite. Yeah, there's some moments in there you're like, oh, this is a little uncomfortable.
Yeah. But I mean, it's funny because I think I prefer, like, a movie that jumps immediately to mind is something like The Substitute with
Tommy Berenger.
Oh, hang on.
Are you talking about that Substitute? Or are you talking about?
Hang on. Which one am I? I'm thinking of the one with James Belushi and Lou Gossett Jr. Is that
James Belushi?
Is that called The Substitute? Because it's the same plot, basically.
And that's the thing. That's what I was saying.
But there's two different movies where someone comes in, like a hard-ass ex-military guy comes in to teach class.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
Oh, no, hang on.
Is it James Belushi?
Yeah.
It is him.
He's in The Substitute. I think the Tom Berenger one is The Principal.
Oh, that's right. It is The Principal. That cover is awful.
I had and like what's that one we talk about all the time? Toy Soldiers. Like I love movies with like bratty kids in schools that turn like inexplicably into action films.
Yeah, right.
They're my jam. I love it. So for some reason I was like, oh, serious, like actual teaching movies.
Yeah. As a teacher, Tys, that's hilarious.
Do you know what? I was actually thinking about it before. I really don't tend to watch a lot of movies about teaching.
Oh, really?
I have very little interest in it.
Oh, right.
That's kind of interesting, isn't it?
That's interesting.
Because I was thinking about it. Yeah, I remember, even as I'm a music teacher, and I think I've seen Mr. Holland's Opus once in my life.
Tyson. Blasphemous.
I know.
No, that's all right.
And I absolutely adore that moment in 21 Jump Street where...
Oh, yes.
Where Channing Tatum trashes the music department. So I don't know what I'm thinking.
What the hell? No. The director of Lean on Me.
Yes.
John G.
Avildsen. Yeah. Rocky. Karate Kid. Yeah.
Nice. I didn't know that.
Yeah, there you go.
Cool.
Power of One.
Lean on Me. Tyson. That was my choice.
That was number 8. All right. My number 8 is a movie that is probably... aside from the ones that I most recently watched for the first time, which of them there are only...
I didn't have any.
Oh, there's only one.
Yeah, keep going.
This is probably the one I'd seen the least before a recent rewatch about 4 months ago. And my number 8 is the Cameron Crowe's first film, Say Anything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So we have John Cusack playing Lloyd Dobler.
Yep.
It's a really... if people aren't quite sure what this movie is, it's the iconic scene of John Cusack in the trench coat holding the stereo up in the playing Peter Gabriel.
In the front yard.
Mm. And
every movie that's ripped that off is copying this.
Exactly. And look, that is the iconic moment from this for sure, and that will live on in 80s culture forever.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, the movie that it comes from is actually quite a strange little movie. Like,
I remember not liking it. I remember going on a John Hughes binge. Not that this is John Hughes.
No, but it's of the same ilk.
But it's of the same ilk,
You would be forgiven for thinking that it was a John Hughes production because that this kind of it feels very Pretty in Pink. The same kind of...
Yeah, very Breakfast Club.
Yeah, and whereas we've got Lloyd Dobler, who's just this normal, everyday dude who is in love with, like, the most pretty popular girl at school, who he thinks he will never have a chance with. It's a bit Can't Hardly Wait-ish in that regard as well.
Yep.
Finally, and gets the opportunity to actually date her.
Okay.
And they do fall in love with each other. And... it's this sweet little, not quite a comedy, but has funny moments in it. Not super dramatic, but does have some drama in it. It doesn't really have a plot. I was kind of like waiting for something to actually be the plot of this movie.
Yeah.
It actually is just them experiencing what it's like being two very different people who are dating in that awkward time between high school finishing and college starting when you don't really know where your life is going to go.
Right.
And whether or not this person that you feel this strongly about at that weird little interjection of your life is going to be that person that is still there when you do make that choice where you're going to go. And I find it fascinating because it's really just like this little time capsule of them just experiencing those feelings together.
Nice. I have seen it before. I just don't remember anything apart from that scene.
It's not real. It's not really memorable.
Yeah,
this is the thing about it's actually really just simple. There are no there's no bonkers scenes.
Yeah.
There's a party at the start that has some funny stuff in it that gave me a few giggles.
Yeah.
But there's no big outlandish funny scenes in it or really memorable things. Like there's no song montage like there is Breakfast Club.
Sure.
There's no Pretty in Pink. There's no 16 Candles underwear stuff. Or
a Car and Ferris.
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing like that. The closest there is the stereo up, which is a really beautiful moment, and it's actually quite heartwarming, really. Yeah. It takes a weird direction towards the end where the girl's dad is potentially going to be arrested for tax evasion or something. And that's the most kind of plot-ish that this film actually gets. The rest of it is all just character.
Right.
And yeah, it's beautiful. And Cameron Crowe's a master of character interaction and using music. There's beautiful music used throughout. He really knows how to pick a soundtrack.
He's a big music man.
Yeah.
Who is the female actress?
Is it? I'm really bad at pronouncing her name. Is it Iron Sky?
Iron Sky. Oh yeah. Yeah.
I really don't know how to say her first name.
No.
I don't know if it's Iron.
Believe it, no one does.
Because that would be weird that her name is Iron Sky. Don't you think so?
That's true. It can't be. Is it an L? Leone Sky? It can't be Lone Sky. Is it an L or an I? Can someone write us in,
Well,
please?
do you know what? I could have gotten off my fucking ass and just Googled once or looked at a YouTube interview and heard someone say it out loud at some point. But no, I'm too lazy for that. Listeners, do it for me, please. Can
intercut and really on topic? Can you say this actor's name for me, please?
Liev Schreiber.
It's actually Liev. I found out yesterday.
Liev.
He pronounces it Liev Schreiber.
Oh, Liev.
Yeah.
I thought it was Leave.
Yeah, that's what I did too. Liev Schreiber.
I like Liev. That's a nice name.
Liev Schreiber.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Nice story.
Good story.
That's my number 8, Nicholas.
Now, do we break for games?
We do break for games. Right. I'm going to host a game for you.
Here I go. Ding,
and what I'm going to do is on Letterboxd, I'm going to read the synopsis provided by Letterboxd for some forgotten films from 1989.
Here we go.
And see if you can pick them. I will be avoiding mentioning anything that's super obvious.
Sure,
I will
such as
say
names
blanks or things like that.
Sure.
But I'll see what you can do from just the synopsis.
All right.
I mean, that's actually quite a little bit of information. But all right, so we're going to start with one
from the long forgotten films. Of yesteryear.
Of yesteryear. Are you ready for this one?
Here we go.
I don't know if you're going to get this one.
That's the point. Come on, I can do it.
This one's going to be rough. All right, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. An Orange County teenager's carefree life of ditching class and skateboarding abandoned pools comes to a screeching halt when someone close to him dies. The cops rule the death a suicide, but the bereaved skater believes he was murdered. It's up to him to solve the case with a skateboard.
Fucked if I know. With a skateboard.
Nick, I'll give you a clue.
Yeah.
It stars the wonderful, the excellent Christian Slater.
Oh. God damn it.
5, 4.
Let's not pump up the volume because we've done that.
2.
See episode
1.
25. I have no idea. It's a stupid name. Like
it's a wonderful name.
It's like BMX Bandits, but it's not.
It's exactly right. Exactly right. It's called Gleaming
the Tube.
Gleaming the Cube.
Oh, damn it. I have heard of this film.
Gleaming the Tube.
Gleaming the Tube. Gleaming the Cube.
Gleaming the Cube. Gleaming the Cube came in 1989.
So badass, man.
What a killer, isn't it?
Can you stream that?
I highly doubt it.
Gleaming the Cube.
All right, film number 2. You ready?
All right, people. Help me out with this one. Give me good vibes. You can't hear me.
Are you ready?
All right.
Molly is a single working mother who's out to find the perfect father for her child.
Okay.
Her baby, Mikey, prefers James, a cab driver turned babysitter.
That is Luke who's talking.
Yes, nice. Gets it.
I got it off Mikey. I remember the baby's name.
Yeah, Mikey. Voiced by Bruce Willis.
Never seen the film?
Haven't you?
No.
Oh my God.
No.
It's I kind of toyed with putting it on my list.
Really?
Because if we come to movies that I probably watched it the most out of any movie of this year because it was a family favorite. If it was ever on television, we'd all sit together and watch it.
Look who's talking.
All right, you're 1 from 2.
Okay.
All right, here we go. These make me laugh.
I like it.
I really do enjoy this section. Hang on. I've got to type it in.
No, that's all right.
Exactly right. Otherwise, it doesn't come up.
Yeah.
All right. An extravagant cop needs some help to find a drug dealer who has tried to kill him.
Sure.
A friend gives him a dog named Jerry Lee, who has been trained to smell drugs.
Canine.
Yes.
Jerry Lee.
The lesser man and dog movie of
that came out this
1989.
Year. Because I was a massive fan of the other one, the way better one.
We won't mention it.
I won't mention it? Okay.
Well, it's not on my list, but
it's not on mine either.
Well,
that's why I'm going to mention Turner and Hooch. So Turner and Hooch and Canine both came out this year.
I know, which is amazing because they are practically the same movie.
They are. Just one is a lot better.
I would have to rewatch them because I would like to think that the Tom Hanks one is better.
It is. I own Turner and Hooch. I cry every time at the end of that film. Spoilers. Don't watch it if you're a dog lover.
I will. Okay.
Sorry, Tys.
No, that's all right. I won't go anywhere near it.
No, I'm kidding. Watch it. It's really good. That is the movie that and for those of you, I think I've talked about this before, I've always wanted to have a yelling match between, and it's because of that movie. Tom Hanks yells a lot in that movie. And a yelling match between me, Tom Hanks, and Al Pacino.
You've said this one.
I have, haven't I? Have I?
You've talked about you want to have a yelling match.
I want a
with
yelling
Tom Hanks.
match, man, between us three. I think I could kick their asses.
Oh, God. All right, next one. We'll do a couple more. Two friends are invited for a weekend to a luxury island with their boss.
Oh, weekend at Bernie's, dude. Come on.
I didn't even get to that bit where it says he's dead. Could have been anything.
And that's how good I am.
Weekend at Bernie's.
The K-Man. Weekend at Bernie's. That's just one of my honourable mentions.
Is it really?
It is hands down. That got watched a lot by me and my brother.
All I remember is the moment where they tie up his hands on his own in the banana lounge and they pull the strings. That's all I remember. I couldn't tell you anything else about that movie.
Me and my brother quote it so much, especially the start. Oh, God, that's a good movie. No, it's not. Do you know why? Bought it, rewatched it, piece of shit.
I reckon it would be terrible.
I was like, oh, that was shithouse.
All right, we'll do two more.
I'm
not sure which one I want to finish with.
All right, I'm going to let you say this one. If I know it, I'm going to leave it. Here we go.
Oh, you're going to wait till I finish
wait till you finish, yeah.
All right, this one, this will be a bit tougher, I think.
Okay, here we go.
Okay. Pete Sandage is a reckless firefighting pilot who is killed in
Hang on, stop. A reckless firefighting pilot? Oh, he's a firefighter. Okay, yep, sorry.
Who is killed in what was to have been his final mission. Mm-hmm. Ascending to heaven, Pete is introduced to a business-like angel, I think that's meant to say,
sure,
who instructs the spectral Pete to pass on his aviation knowledge to his young successor. While doing so, Pete also smooths the course of romance for his earthly girlfriend, who, after several months of grieving, finally falls in love with another man. Well, that sounds like a real treat.
Fuck it, that sounds like a snore fest. Is that...
Oh.
I could be wrong. Is this Always?
Yes, he's got it.
Oh! And I haven't even seen it.
It is Always, the forgotten film directed by the master Steven Spielberg. It's the film that everyone forgets he had anything to do with.
Good Lord.
Isn't that weird? Steven Spielberg directed a movie from this year.
And no one knows who it is. And this was after E.T.
Neither one of us have seen it.
No.
That's how, it's a Spielberg movie.
Yeah.
You
own it, Tyson.
Do I?
You do. Do you know why?
Did you give it to me as a joke present that time?
Yep. How good is that?
I think so. We have talked about it on the show before. So no wonder you got it.
No, I don't know. No. I hands down didn't know what the plot was.
That's good.
I didn't know. That was good.
It's just you just know it as
I
that
just
weird
knew because there's a plane on the... I knew because there's a plane on the cover.
And they're ghosts.
Yeah.
I know that had something to do with ghosts.
Yeah, it had something to do with ghosts.
All right, last one.
All right, here we go.
Last one.
All right.
Now, which one do I want to do? Ooh. Okay.
All right, here we go.
There's a few sequels.
Oofed.
I'm going to choose one of the sequels.
Oh God, we got a lot of sequels in this year.
All right. And you're going to have to have a stab because I think you're going to know what franchise it is.
But I'm not going to know.
But I want you to have a stab at which installment was released in this year.
All right, so I shouldn't look at the list that's in front of me.
No.
Okay. All right, here we go.
Okay, our favourite, I'm leaving this one word out, our favourite blank men are called together to deal with a gang who robs banks and jewellers. Using their various talents as well as their extraordinary luck, the crooks stand no chance against our men and women wearing blue.
What? And men and women wearing blue?
I also need to just say it's directed by someone called Peter Boners. And it's Boners with a Z.
And sorry, one more time.
Well, think about, what do we call the boys in blue?
Cops.
What's the 80s franchise?
Police Academy.
Oh, yes. Which one came out in 1989?
Fuck.
No.
1989.
Oh, that's what I meant to say. Did I say 1985?
No, you didn't. You said 1989. I'm going to go with... 4?
No, 4, which was Citizens on Patrol, I believe.
It wasn't the other one. The other one that I know is Trip to Moscow.
Trip to Moscow is 7.
7, okay.
Number 6.
7.
City Under Siege was released in 1989.
Nice one. I like it.
Yeah.
Nice
Police Academy.
Police Academy, man. Tune in next year for when we watch all of them. I'm kidding.
On Halloween, because we're
not watching.
It's going to be horrifying.
We're not.
We'll return with another game shortly.
I
Nicholas.
like it.
I do love our games.
Good game.
So we're up to your number 7, Nicholas.
Are we?
Yep.
Number 7. Oh, Oh, lovely. Okay, my number 7, I have watched an abundance of times, and I can pretty much quote it verbatim. It is directed by Ron Howard, and we've done it on the show, but I wasn't here.
And that is correct.
And it is Parenthood.
We'll come back to that.
Excellent.
My number 7 is the Joe Dante directed bonkers horror / comedy starring Tom Hanks, The Burbs.
Yep.
It is just such a fun experience.
Yeah.
I don't know if it all completely works, but I am so on board for just the good spirit of that film.
Okay.
And the real kind of quirky nature of it. It feels like this kind of movie that is so in on its own joke,
right?
But it's in this really clever way. Like it's quirky yet not like obnoxiously so. It's doing its thing, and it makes for a really fun time. And it's Tom Hanks doing his wonderful Tom Hanksness. And
young Tom Hanks.
Young Tom Hanks.
Yeah, because there's a difference.
Yeah, he's manic, and he's but he's super charming, but he's a bit of a goofball. Yeah. And like when he, like you were saying, when he loses it in the 80s, no one loses it like Tom Hanks in the 80s.
No.
It's the best. His meltdowns are just legendary.
Yeah. And
this has quite a fantastic one in it as well. You got Carrie Fisher in there as well. It's almost like a Hitchcock movie, but told through just like a Monty Python kind of bonkers eyeballs. Like
I get confused with this, The Money Pit, and Joe versus Volcano.
Sure. It's got more in common with Joe versus the Volcano, I reckon.
Okay.
In terms of its tone, yeah, because it's got this weird kind of absurdity to it, which I just love. Everything is out of proportions. Everything is like big dirty zooms, lightning crashes, like orchestral cues when the house, low angle shots of the house in the nighttime with like wooden shutters banging. Like it's wonderful, and it's filmed like it would be the scariest thing in the world, but it's actually just hilarious and a really good time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love it. The Burbs, really fun. You've got to see it.
It's always been on my list to see it. Plus, it's Joe Dante, so why am I not watching it?
And it's a good Corey Feldman performance as well.
Yeah?
Like he's not annoying in any way.
Oh, come on, man. Love Corey Feldman. When's he annoying? Oh, yeah, I remember.
Lots of things.
I remember.
Not in Lost Boys.
Oh, I prefer him over Corey Haim.
Yes, I do too. But yeah, that's my number 7.
Number
The Burbs.
7.
Nick, what's your number 6?
Oh, all right. Okay, here we go.
We're getting to the business end,
We're getting to almost to the business end because you got a lot of films in here, Tys, that do get to the business end quite quickly. The last 3 kind of are amalgamation of they're all in the sort of the same level, but I had to pick a 10. So
exactly,
it was Pet Sematary. No. This is going back, and this was directed by 2 people, and this was the start for me of Disney being their classic era.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
This was The Little Mermaid.
Of course.
Yeah.
Continue on.
So this, from loving it from a kid and watching it throughout my lifetime, I've always loved it. It doesn't, obviously, where we are in the, I don't know, the social spectrum, if that's what you call it.
Sure.
It's, it doesn't really hit home with... it's not a really great story to tell for little girls anymore. You don't need a guy and all that stuff, but it is one of those old classic tales.
It is what it is.
Yeah, a little girl wanting just to be, to do something different, really.
Yeah.
But that coupled with, because I watched it the other day on Disney.
Oh, very good.
Disney Plus.
Yeah, nice work.
In the HD, I think it's 4K version that I was watching.
Wow.
Because I wanted to see what they did 4K, because it is all hand drawn. This was back in I think it was just before. So the one that started that integrated a little bit of CG. It started with Hunchback, and the other one was Lion King. When the wildebeest come down the thing in Lion King and come down, that's CG. That's not hand drawn.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah. That's why it looks that good, because it was the first time that we saw that
they did a bit of
compositional stuff. It wasn't all CG. It was hand drawn, but yeah. Whereas Little Mermaid, you're getting everything from the birds to the waves to a lot of little, the array of colours is insane.
Yep.
And it's just beautiful to watch.
Yeah.
Those songs as well are, I've heard a lot of auditions, as I'm sure you would have as well, with
Part of Your World.
Part of Your World.
It's a good one to teach the kiddies as well.
My favourite is still, hands down, Kiss the Girl.
Kiss the Girl is an absolute gem of a song.
It's such a good song.
Yeah.
Such a good song.
Yeah, look, I'll be honest. I don't love The Little Mermaid. It did kind of kickstart this new wave of Disney, which has produced a few legitimately wonderful films. I don't consider Little Mermaid in the higher tiers of those ones. Yeah. But the songs are fucking incredible. It's never really connected with me. Ursula's not really a villain that I enjoy.
I hands down, I watch it for Ursula.
Yeah, sure.
I hands down watch it for Ursula. She is, if you watch it, she's just at that borderline of kid-friendly and adult-scary.
Sure.
Like, there are moments like her garden full of souls is just, that's not for kids. Jesus Christ. Like, that's 80s kids. Like, they won't get what it is. Sure. Just a garden trying to grab at Ariel. No, it's fine. It's fine.
It's fine. Well, nothing wrong with that.
But yeah, I totally understand because it's kind of just in that era of, it's the start of the classics.
Yeah.
What we consider
our generation's classics. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, Little Mermaid, man. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, great. Look, it's probably due for a rewatch, to be honest, because since it's been a really long time since I've seen it, and since then I've seen like musical versions of it, and I've worked on a few versions of it.
Oh, sure.
And I don't love that version at all. I think the music is obviously always wonderful, but I think the show that they've done in this adaptation for stage is garbage.
Yeah.
So I think maybe it's tainted a little bit of the original story for me, or the original cartoon. So maybe it's worth going back and seeing if that maybe wouldn't be the same.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I have to. Oh God, it's one of my favorites. Who is it? Pat Carroll, man. Oh, Pat Carroll is the voice of Ursula. She's amazing.
And look, that's probably the best song in the show, actually, really.
It really is. More
Unfortunate
Souls, yeah.
What a great song.
Damn, what a good song. That was my...
Yeah, my favourite bit is that bit of music,
100%.
That's so good.
So good.
That was your what?
That was my number 6.
All right, my number 6, Nicholas.
Tys?
So like as we were just saying, it's a sudden jump for me from like movies that I consider good into good to like favourites for sure, but to like legitimately what I think we're getting into like masterpiece territory.
Yeah,
we're
getting into masterpiece territory.
And so my number 6 favourite film of the year was a new watch to me in the last week.
Oh, sure.
And that was Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing.
Oh, nice.
Nice. We holding on to that one?
No,
or go ahead.
Go ahead.
It was a really interesting watch for me because
was this the first? This was the first time.
Yeah. It was my first time watching it, and it took me a while to warm to it. Yeah, I found it kind of cold to begin with, and I don't love Spike Lee as Mookie, the lead performance.
Yep.
But as the movie went on, it just kind of got a hold on me, and I really started feeling it. And I think it just the way the way you feel sweaty watching that movie is like nothing I've ever experienced. You feel that heat.
Yeah.
And what's fun, like, because I always wonder about that, and they're like talking how it's pushing 100 Fahrenheit.
Yeah,
it's only like 36 degrees, by the way. I'm like, boys, come down to Melbourne or Adelaide or whatever over Christmas holidays, and we'll show you. We'll see how you cope.
Mid-Jan, come mid-Jan. Let's
see how many pizza shops you trash. Yeah.
Because it's so fucking hot.
Yeah, exactly, in that temperature.
Yeah. This was I watched it as well this week because I wanted to... I've watched it before once, and I'm a big fan of Spike Lee. I like what he does, but what I love about Spike, he'll either miss hard or he'll hit classic.
Like,
sure. There's no middle ground for Spike.
Not really.
There really isn't. You hit it hard.
Yeah.
And this one I'm a big fan of. Yeah. It didn't hit my list, but that's only because I've watched it twice.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Sure. And look, I wasn't even sure I was going to put it on this list. Since I've watched it, I haven't been able to really stop thinking about it.
Yeah.
And I'm aware that it is not like I struggle to kind of empathize with those experiences because there's just such a different experience.
Very removed,
Like 100%. It's like it's totally different. But as the movie goes on, it has a wonderful way of familiarizing that and familiarizing like their day-to-day culture, which is obviously so different from fucking a couple of suburban white dudes in Melbourne.
100%.
Like, but yeah, as the movie goes on, you just start to warm to it. You start to kind of familiarize. You feel what they're feeling. I think the John Turturro character is a bit much.
Really?
I know it's probably not even anywhere near a caricature. I'm sure there are people that existed exactly like that.
Yeah.
But for me, it felt a little much. I much preferred Danny Aiello's kind of like closeted racism.
Sure.
That felt more realistic to me. That weirdly kind of like acceptable racism that we seem to be like.
Do you think that Danny is racist?
Well,
though?
I think
like
what I was taking
the best
from
thing
it,
about this movie is that we could talk this. This is a full episode right here.
What I ended up taking away from it is that he was representative of this kind of. Hey, it's cool. I've got black friends, and when deep down, when push comes to shove, if he feels like he is being, in any way marginalized by a black person, he will strike out at them.
Yeah,
and he will consider that like he still considers himself superior. I think, and I think as much as he, likes Mookie.
Yeah, I don't.
When push comes to shove, if it's him, you'll see how he feels.
Yeah, right.
And I think that's indicative of a really broad racism that exists. Like I'm saying, I've got a black friend. We hired this black person to be. You consider aren't we woke? You know what I mean? Which is, and it's so relevant to today.
Yeah,
I think
100% this movie is relevant to today.
Yeah, even if I couldn't appreciate all of it and all the character interactions and the way, like. I didn't, I obviously know that, people like mother sister, yeah. There is that kind of that cultural patriarch in these boroughs.
Yeah, 100%.
And she hangs out the window and everyone knows her and they all talk. And we don't have anything like that.
No.
But it is, you could feel how institutional it is to their growing up and to their little corner of the world.
If you needed help, you'd go to mother sister sort of thing.
Exactly. And it really turned me around by the end of it.
Good. I'm glad.
Yeah, and I just, you feel it coming. And it's tragic, and it's really sad.
It's sad, but that what happens at the end of that movie is it just escalates from one thing to another, and it is so relevant about what happens at the end of that film.
And it's 100% inevitable. Like that's how, for some reason, the movie never makes you feel like you're going to get away with this. Like you can feel that it is going to the
escalate.
Heat and the underlying tension between all these people and these differing cultures,
but slowly boiling throughout the whole film. Just little bits here and there, just coming up and down. And I do love, like what you said was right. You had it been a TV series, like you get to know these characters and the neighborhood throughout the film, so you do feel a part of it when it kind of kicks off at the end.
Yes, I would say if anything, we don't spoilers for Do the Right Thing.
Yeah,
we don't get to know Radio well enough. I don't think.
Yeah.
And personally, I don't find Radio to be a particularly likable character either.
No.
And so that's a part of it as well. I think he could have been.
I think that was on purpose, though.
You reckon that maybe he's not likable on purpose?
Yeah.
I mean, I know that sounds ridiculous. Like for me, it shouldn't be. It should be tragic regardless. Like, but I did find not that he deserves anything because he's not a nicer person. But I think the power of that moment was slightly lessened because Radio is never really presented as a sympathetic character.
No, we don't. So, we don't get our Radio moments.
Maybe we just don't get to spend enough time with Radio.
I think that's what it is.
Because you never see him as a person. He's always just this like an idea, a figure. He is he's the public enemy, fight the power guy.
Yeah.
You don't ever see him as anything but that.
I love it constantly. It doesn't change. That song literally doesn't
that song
change.
The whole time.
The next day, I was like, "Fight the power!" Just with that song. Fight the power. And I'm like, Jesus, that song is
I don't know if it would have made more sense to me if it had been like Smiley or
really?
Or even the guy that was trying to start the protest,
was it ML? Was that his name?
What's it called? The boycott.
Yeah, the boycott.
Maybe one of those two, because we'd spent more time with them and we'd seen them as different, like as more sympathetic figures maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I just got like the last 20 minutes of that movie.
How good is it?
Something else.
And like the pan back that Spike does with it's all done and dusted and life goes on. And it's just going to, we can't really do anything.
Yeah, but you're right. So much to talk to about in that movie. It's not, obviously, there are movies above it for me. It's only in my number 6 spot.
Yeah.
But it's a movie that, I haven't stopped thinking about. It's not entirely made for me, But at the same time, it's a movie, obviously, that 100%. we can learn a lot from because, he's saying, saying things that I think a lot of people like us never really think twice about.
Yeah. And this was the movie that made, I think, Do the Right Thing got nominated for Best Original Screenplay or something.
Yeah, screenplay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember it being nominated for more stuff.
I thought it was for Best Picture.
Yeah,
I really did. Because last year's Oscars, Spike walked because he lost to, this is the year that Driving Miss Daisy won.
Yeah.
And he lost to another African American being driven around in a car. That's his argument. Which, it's just
it's unfortunate for sure
that it's happened. But
it's strange that the movie that Hollywood decided to embrace as its racism allegory was a much more buttoned down. No, it's okay. We can work it out. Movie.
Yeah.
Whereas what he was trying to say is that no.
This is what you.
This is the reality of racism. It's not just white people and black people shaking hands and getting on with their lives.
Exactly.
It's a powder keg
of people.
Yeah, and it's going to explode. And his version of that is obviously the closer to reality and where we are now. Really, where it's just I mean, I'd like to think it's maybe not as bad now, but
it is.
Maybe that's just my bubble in the sense that we live in a very accepting kind of social circle.
Yeah.
But there you go.
I would, if it wasn't our top 10 favorites, this movie would probably be at number 3 or number 2 for me.
Sure.
If it was, me trying to come at it as a critically acclaimed, what I think is the best made films of this year, 1989. Do the Right Thing. It'd be number 3 or number 2.
Sure.
Yeah. Nice. What was that?
That was my number 6. So Nick, you're number 5.
So, number 5. We're going to come back and we're going to do Lethal Weapon 2.
Lethal Weapon 2. My number 9. Your number 5.
My number 5, Tys.
Love it, Nick.
It's up there, man. Jesus. Oh.
Now I
Lethal
like this better
2.
than Lethal Weapon 1. Am I the only one?
No, you're spot on.
Good.
There. I'm definitely there. Directed by Richard Donner, our man who does Superman well.
Yeah.
And the only real Superman.
Other than he we shall not mention.
We shall not name. Lethal Weapon 2, man. God, this is good.
It's a classic action movie. It's got everything that you could possibly want out of an action movie.
Yeah.
We have these established characters already, so we don't have to worry too much about it anymore.
Yep.
We don't have to spend that time. We just get to see them being these characters that we love.
Straight off the bat.
Great villains.
Awesome. Probably
I don't know. So Gary Busey's pretty great.
He's good, but he's not.
One.
He's not. Oh, I thought I was standing on plastic.
Yeah, true.
He's not that type of villain. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like diplomatic immunity, and he just goes boom and blows him the fuck away, and you're like, eat it.
Yeah,
you're so up in arms with this movie. It's so good. You've got everything from the family element where the daughter gets the ad and the cops do their thing of just sending him rubbers. You've got the car chases that literally start the film. It starts on a car chase and Riggs jumping out and running.
Yeah.
You've got my other favorite part is where it slows down like that. Yes, Lethal Weapon 1 is great with its dramatic element. Like, did Shane write this one?
I think Shane Black did write this one as well.
Because you see a lot, and what I do love about Shane Black's writing is the moment where Riggs puts the gun in his mouth in his house. That's maybe the benchmark of maybe.
Yes, he did.
Maybe Lethal Weapon 1 might be slightly on the better, but in the elements of this, you're getting Riggs opening up, having another relationship. That relationship literally getting snuffed out before it gets started, and him, literally going off the deep end. Like in Lethal Weapon 1, we see him, like Riggs always says, oh, my partner's crazy, he's crazy. I think I'm crazy. At the end of Lethal Weapon 2, you do see him reach that pinnacle.
Yeah,
he does go that nuts to the point where they were almost going to kill him, and you can see that they cut it so that Riggs dies at the end with knocking on heaven's door, and then they pull back and like, hey, we've made a lot of money, let's make a number 3.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, whether or not, but I mean, I don't know if it would have been a particularly overly satisfying death for the character. I think it's probably a little bit tragic and unnecessarily tragic.
Yeah, I prefer him to live.
Yeah. I mean, these films, like, they've got such a great. I think they probably take it too far in 3 and 4, but they had a great sense of, like, I mean, fun, but not like.
Not
like
too fun.
It's what Shane Black brings to the table. Like, it's the same with, like, The Nice Guys. It's the same with Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. We're in very serious situations. And probably Kiss Kiss. Those two movies are probably more so aligned with the humor, but for some reason we still find it kind of a good time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't think you could do that to one of those characters. And
No.
it's the same with at the end of Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, where they're just like, oh yeah, and Gay Terry's fine. Is that his name? Gay Terry?
Yeah, Gay
Perry. Gay Perry.
Gay Perry.
Gay Perry's fine. It's all good. He didn't die.
And you're like, oh, really?
Yeah, and because that's you don't go to these movies for this. Like, and Shane Black understands that we can have elements of it, but at the end of the movie, we want things to be okay.
Exactly.
But this is so much fun. This movie,
and this is the introduction of
Joe Pesci.
Joe Pesci.
This is his first one.
Yeah,
he doesn't pop up in the first one at all. Why do I think he does? Oh, yeah, I love Joe Pesci in these movies. Leo, that's right.
Getz.
Love him.
God, it's a good movie.
Yeah, they do expand the cast of characters well.
They do
in these movies. Renee Russo's only
I watched 3 and 4
isn't
again.
she? She's not in 2
She's
at all.
in 3,
yeah,
and then he sticks around for 4.
Yeah. Good call,
Lethal
man.
Weapon 2,
Good
man.
call.
It's up there. It's high for me.
Yeah, sorry, I don't have much to say about it. I realise it's just great.
But it's just a great movie. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You don't need to say much. Like, anyone who's seen Lethal Weapon. If you haven't, well, maybe see a couple of movies.
I'm due for a rewatch. I watched Lethal Weapon 2 far more recently than I've watched any of the other Lethal Weapons.
Yeah,
so
I haven't watched 3 or 4 in since the 90s.
Yeah, I've only seen 3 once,
and I own 3.
Because I didn't love it, and I was like,
cheap.
"Yeah, I want that Blu-ray collection.
Yeah.
It's only like $12."
Oh, speaking of collection, I went into JV the other day.
Oh, yes.
Do you know what I saw? Tyson, the box set was about that big.
Oh, what's this?
And it literally just said Van Damme, and I was like, "What is this thing?" And I picked it up. I could not tell it. I know it doesn't have what you think, Tyson. It's all the things that you don't think.
Oh, all the random straight to DVD.
All the random straight to DVD. So it's only $90 this thing, and it's
hang on, it's $90.
$90, and it's huge.
And
the only ones that I know that are in there that I would rewatch again are Double Team, and I think Universal Soldier is in it, and the rest I don't want to watch.
Did you say 19 or 90?
90.
Yeah, the Jean-Claude Van Damme Mega Pack from $99. What is this? 17 DVDs.
17, exactly.
That's actually not a great deal. 17 DVDs for $90.
It's massive.
I mean. Yeah. Well, it's only $80 now because it's 20% off.
There you go.
Yeah, what have we got?
What do you got?
This is rough. 6 Bullets, Assassination Games, Derailed, Double Team, Hard Corpse,
Double Team.
In Hell, not bad. Kickboxer, yeah. Maximum Risk, The Order, Replicant, Second in Command, The Shepherd, Until Death, Nowhere to Run, great movie. Street Fighter, Sudden Target,
Pass.
Great movie. Sorry, Sudden Death, great movie, and Hard Target, great movie.
Sudden Death, yeah. Sudden Death I'd watch. That's the one where it looks like something's blowing up on the cover. Looks like a dome. Looks like a spaceship.
Yeah, Sudden Death set in a like sports stadium.
Yeah,
during an ice hockey.
That's right. Use hockey game.
Yeah. That's not
Tyson.
That's not terrible.
You're gonna spend $90, maybe 80.
I can't do it. Although I want that box set. Look at it. It's wonderful.
I knew it. I saw it. I was like, I can't wait to tell Tyson. I should have taken a photo and sent it to you.
Well, they're not gonna sell this at $80 a pop. There's no way. So I will be cashing in when this suddenly becomes $45. For sure.
$50? You're going to pay $50? Would you pay $50?
No, because I've actually, you know what? I won't get it because the ones I actually like out of this, I already have.
Exactly.
So, yeah, there's
you
no
don't
reason
need
for
the
it.
others.
I'm not going to watch The Shepherd.
You should watch The Shepherd. In fact, I think people should write in and watch The Shepherd.
Well, when we do our side podcast where we watch all of Van Damme's entire filmography,
side podcast,
we'll buy it then.
All right, cool. Van Damme.
My number 5. Moving on.
Your number 5.
I was really excited because I thought we were going to get through this quickly. We're not.
No, we're not.
We're fucking
number
up.
5.
My number 5, Nicholas, is... well, he had to appear somewhere. It's my man K-Cost. It's Field of Dreams.
Oh... Talk it up, Tyson, because I've only watched this once.
Sure.
And it was a sparse watching. It was on TV. I was in and out because I was ill.
This is a strange movie to watch when you're ill.
So I was like, what the fuck is going on? Yeah.
Well,
Field of Dreams,
to be
Tyson.
quite honest,
Go for it.
you would say what the fuck is going on anyway.
Really?
It is a really strange movie, and I really like it for that reason.
Okay.
It's a bizarre fantasy film set in like backyard Iowa, where things like the movie starts and there's just Kevin Costner out in the cornfields and a ghost voice starts and does the "if you build it, he will come." And from there,
it doesn't even build on character.
There's nothing.
Straight away.
It's just it's straight in. And the weirdest thing about this movie is that you never stop to question the ridiculousness of the plot.
Okay.
And that it amazes me because I rewatched it recently because it was always a childhood favorite, teenager favorite. And I haven't watched
about
it
a bit on
20, 25 years, since I've seen it.
25 years?
Oh, at least 20 years.
Shit. Okay.
Like I'm talking about, I haven't watched it since my 20s. Absolutely not.
Right.
So I was amazed at just how ludicrous it is and how much I buy it as I was watching it. And I was just like, you know what? This movie has the gumption to just say, no, just go with it. Just go with it. And it is unashamedly sentimental and in the right mood. That's exactly what I love. I love that it just goes, here is my heart, and it's plonked on their sleeve, and they don't give two shits what you think. If you are cynical,
don't watch it.
If you're in a cynical mood, you can't watch this movie. Yeah. And the movie makes no apologies for it, and I love that.
Do you feel that a lot of movies in the 90s and 80s, to be honest, did that though?
Well, this is what I'm thinking. I think it was a time when you could be deeply sentimental and not be judged based on that. Yeah. Because I think
you can't get away with that.
No, you can't. And I think a lot of people would watch this and go, oh, it's so sappy, it's so ridiculous, like the plot makes no sense. And it's like, well, hey, man,
it's not for you.
It's not for you. Because for me, I have an incredibly heartwarming experience watching this film.
Right.
And by the end of it, I'm a blubbering mess.
Yeah.
And the movie has worked its charms on me. And if it does it effectively, I think it's actually, I'd forgotten just how good Kevin Costner is in this movie.
Right.
And he's a very different Kevin Costner in this movie. He's really natural. He's really, he's always quite charming. I really like him, but he's got this kind of quirkiness that doesn't feel forced. Okay. He feels really like a simple country guy, an Iowa farmer who kind of is in over his head and doesn't know what he's doing, and he's like, why am I building a baseball diamond? Like, and you believe it. But the conversations he has with his wife are amazing when they just kind of go, what did the voice tell you to do? I don't know. It just said, if I build it, it will come. And she's like, build what? And he's like, I think a baseball diamond. And she's like, really? Well, if you think so. And you're like, what?
How does he know that?
What? That's what I mean. How does he know this?
Okay.
It's a movie full of just like, this makes no sense how we got here, but I love that we're here, and let's just keep on going.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you are feeling sentimental and in no way cynical,
Dreams.
Get on Field of Dreams because it will warm your heart.
Was this was mid Kevin Costner being a heartthrob, yeah?
Oh, yeah. This was peak Costner.
Peak Costner. Yeah. I couldn't tell you.
This was the year
this.
before Dances with Wolves.
Ray Liotta, man. James Earl Jones.
Ray Liotta plays Shoeless Joe Jackson.
Yeah.
James Earl Jones plays a writer who, for some reason, gets caught up in all the kerfuffle.
Right.
The story itself, it was based on a short story called Shoeless Joe, I believe.
And Costner, he loves baseball. He's done a lot of baseball.
He's a big fan of baseball.
Yeah.
And good on him.
Yeah.
I actually like baseball because of baseball movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because there are quite a few that I really love.
Okay.
But I don't rarely sit and watch baseball games.
Oh.
But I love the sport because of the movies associated with it.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah.
I played baseball. It's the only. I'm not a sport person. One iota. I played baseball for state.
Nice.
Yeah, when I was under 18s.
I played softball for my primary school team. So who was better? You tell me.
Okay. Touche. Checkmate there, my friend.
Anyway, that's my number 5.
Number 5.
Out. Had to have K-Cost in there.
I like it. Do we do number 4 now?
Let's do number 4 and then we'll do another game.
Okay. Oh,
what's your number 4, Nicholas?
Number 4, Tyson. It was a very sad day when this gentleman died.
Oh.
This is a movie that my whole family got around and watched. We loved lots of moments of this movie.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Uncle Buck.
Oh, of
and
course.
John Candy.
Nice choice.
Yeah. Directed by the amazing John Hughes.
John Hughes, yeah. Written by, is this a Chris Columbus written?
I think this is, yeah. Let me look it up. Yeah, there are a lot of... Oh, no, written by John Hughes.
Oh, written by John Hughes as well.
This movie still there are moments in this movie where it's funny, and yes, and the moment, because this movie was played a lot on free to air, and we watched it a lot on free to air, it was fine. In the moments in the ads were like when you saw an ad for a TV show or a movie coming up, and they'll show you the funny part. Macaulay Culkin, sure. It's the small little bits in this movie that you get that Uncle Buck is not accepted by his family. It's the small, intimate, emotional moments that I love about this movie, and they're just littered throughout. There's not that many, but God, I love this movie. It's so warming, and it's a man who comes over who's he doesn't have his life together. He never will, and he never has. But his heart is so big that if you need help, he'll help you.
Sure.
And he always knows the right thing to do. And the story about him and the eldest daughter who's rebelling against her mum. And she's rebelling hard. She gives it to her mum, and it's so hard to watch how she just detests her mum.
Right.
And they go away. If you don't know the story of Uncle Buck, the mum and dad go back home to where they're originally from because her mum had a heart attack. The kids are staying there, and they have to be babysat by Uncle Buck because they've still got school.
Sure.
The elder teenager finds that time to rebel, go out parties, drink, blah, 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 whatever. And John Candy, in the best way that he can, just goes, "Yeah, that's not happening." Right. I understand that you don't know me, but I know what's right, and you're not doing that.
Okay.
And he does it in such a great way. He does it in a way that it's just memorable. It's such a great film. Yeah, I don't have anything else to say about this movie.
I'll be honest, it's been a
real
I watched it on television when I was about 10,
yeah,
and I have not seen it since.
Yeah.
It's never been one that I've been really drawn to.
I call it the John Hughes movie that sneaks up on you.
Sure.
No one goes to a John... If you're going to watch a John Hughes movie, Uncle Buck is not mentioned ever.
No, well, it is kind of one that you forget he did.
Exactly.
There's a few like that where you're just kind of like, John Hughes made
John
that?
Hughes did this?
Really?
Exactly. But you watch it, and it hands down, it has the warmth and the love of any other John Hughes movie, from Breakfast Club to Ferris. It's great. Of course it's up there. So good.
What's the iconic line that bloody Macaulay Culkin says in that?
There's a few. The one that you're thinking, he talks really fast and he goes, "I'm a kid, and that's my job."
That's it.
Yeah.
I'm a kid, that's my job. That's it. Speaking of, in my head I was just like, what? I was trying to think of another example of a John Hughes movie that you're like, really? John Hughes made that? In my head I was like, Curly Sue. And then I was like, no, that wasn't John Hughes. I had to go check. Yeah. And it was John Hughes.
It was John Hughes, yeah.
So
that was right. That was the last. Was that his last, I think?
No, surely.
Yeah, I think it was.
His last film that he directed?
Yep. I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
It was Curly Sue.
Get out of town. Yep. Really?
Mm.
I'm going to check that.
Yeah, you do that.
It's not that I don't believe you.
No, 100%.
But I don't believe you.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was.
What's that bit?
It was the last bit.
What, we're filming right now?
Yeah.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
Maybe we'll borrow next time. Yeah, man.
Curly Sue in 91.
Uncle Buck. The bit where Uncle Buck walks into the principal's office is one of my favourites. The bit where he walks into the party, the house party that is so late, like it doesn't feel 80s, this movie. This is that middle blur that's just the 90s and 80s together.
Sure.
Because the kids aren't like, no, we're not talking about parties. We're into serious stuff. And they're all dressed like in black with glasses that are John Lennon specs, and it's so cool.
I like it. I'll have to rewatch it because I was always.
Buck, man.
I'm a big John Hughes fan. I gravitate more towards things that he's written more than he's direct.
He wrote this, bro.
But when it comes to I forget that he directed some wonderful films as well.
Yeah.
But I don't ever really I don't flock to his movies because he directed them. I go to his movies because he wrote them.
Yeah. Uncle Buck.
But yeah, so I'm gonna, because this is only one of 8 films that he's directed. We'll have to kind of give it a watch.
Dude, man, I'm telling you,
because it's been, like I said, since a small child.
So good.
And I guess I'm gonna have to watch Curly Sue at some point as well.
I remember having it. I remember watching it when I was little. But Jim Belushi pass. James. Who?
James Belushi. John Belushi was the one who sadly passed away, the good one.
Yeah.
James / Jim Belushi
is the canine idiot.
Is the terrible one. He's what we're left with. memories of better things.
Uncle Buck.
My number 4, Nicholas.
Number 4. Let's just have a moment. That number 4 for me is Uncle Buck.
That's good work.
That's how good it is, Tyson.
I appreciate it. That's amazing that Uncle Buck made it to number 4.
Man. Okay, Tyson.
Well, my number 4 is a movie that you mentioned previously. I can't remember what number, but that is Ron Howard's Parenthood.
Oh, let's talk Parenthood.
Yeah, so what number was that for you?
That was my number 7.
So, yeah, I mean, that's all much of a muchness, really. We're just talking about 10 of our favourite films.
Absolutely.
Parenthood saw, recently to do for the show that you weren't actually on.
That's true.
Hadn't seen it for a really long time and loved it sick. Really, really enjoyed it. And it brought back so many wonderful memories of me watching it as a kid.
Yep.
This iconic imagery that I had from a kid, like Steve Martin in the cowboy outfit, like Keanu Reeves. Just being Keanu.
A very young Joaquin Phoenix.
Very young Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, who was actually, his name was Leaf Phoenix.
That's right, Leaf Phoenix.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because it was Leaf and River, and his sister, I forget, I don't know. I'm going to say Wind, but I have no idea.
Probably not far off, to be honest.
Rick Moranis, another Rick Moranis movie.
Rick Moranis, who, obviously should have done a lot more. Well, we said this every time. He chose the best reason to stop acting, but it's sad for all of us that he's no longer acting.
Yeah.
Just Jason Robards. God, he's one of those guys that I just miss as like an actor.
Jason Robards.
I love him.
Do you?
Yeah. Yeah, because he's always good. And then people like Martha Plimpton, who was in every 80s movie and then you've never seen her since. It's a real time capsule.
Martha Plimpton, man, she's so good. Diane Weiss.
I mean, yeah, Diane Weiss.
Give Diane Weiss an Oscar. Oh, that's right. We already have. Ah!
Yeah. Mary Steenburgen.
Yeah. I love the reason I love this movie is because it gives just enough time to every single family member. You get little moments of these families, and every moment you're not bored with any of them.
No.
With a movie like this that does what it does, there's normally a moment you're like, oh yeah, come on, let's go. Come on, hurry up. I want to see what happens with this something else. Every single other, all of it is the same. It's you're interested in absolutely and wanting to know what happens in all of them, which is great.
And you also don't feel like any of them are shortchanged either. You feel like it's a good, even amount, and we get a full story out of every character, which I really appreciated. And it's an honest story too, even though it's set in this comedy environment.
Yeah.
Everything feels really authentic. Nothing feels like set up for the sake of comedy. It just feels really fun that way. And I mean, and really authentic that way. I just love, it's a really enjoyable watching experience. It's one of those things that you put it on and the credits start to roll and I feel comfortable because it reminds me immediately of what movies were in the 80s. Yep. I get this feeling that washes over me and I get the nostalgic feeling of sitting in my old living room with my parents, ready to watch whatever was the Friday night movie.
Yeah, 100%. And
the credits start rolling on your television and they all look exactly the same. Yep. There's like a slow panning shot through a kitchen or a bedroom or something like that.
There's the front of the house.
There's that cutesy, not cutesy, but that gentle kind of music that maybe has like a flute or an oboe doing a solo.
Piano.
Maybe a bit of a piano.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you see the words like directed by Ron Howard. And you just know, well, here I am. This is my home.
Exactly.
This is where I belong.
This is where I belong.
So it's a beautiful feeling and this film brings all of that out for me.
What is your favourite Ron Howard movie?
I think we had this conversation.
Have we really?
Well, I think we might have had this conversation on the day we did Parenthood.
Oh, really?
With Jemima.
Yeah.
I think I came down on Apollo 13.
Apollo. Jesus, that's good. Good choice.
Yeah, I can't remember if there was anything else actually that really stuck out for me as much as that.
I am going to pick... Oh, God. No, it's probably Apollo. I'm going to pick Solo. A Star Wars... I'm kidding. Look, it's probably Willow for me.
Yes, Willow. What a legendary movie.
God, that's a good movie. Willow. Parenthood.
Oh, Ransom's not bad too.
Ransom's really good. That's the other one that I was going to mention.
Ransom's pretty good. Do you know what I'm hanging for a rewatch of? That's been literally forever, and I'm waiting for it to pop up on some kind of streaming service, and it never does.
Yep.
Backdraft. I would watch the shit out of Backdraft any day at the moment.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Backdraft?
I just want to watch it. I want to watch Kurt Russell fighting fires, man.
Who else was in that?
Like one of the bald ones.
Oh, it was a bald one.
There's a De Niro in there, I think, isn't there? Isn't he like the fire marshal or
He
something?
is. De Niro is in there. Jesus. Jennifer Jason Leigh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, William Baldwin. It's Billy Baldwin.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
one of Dem Baldwins.
That's a fat pass right there. That's a fucking fat pass.
You can keep them all except for Alec.
Alec's amazing.
Should we play our next game, Nicholas?
We're going to play our next game.
Nice. Now, which game is this, Nicholas?
Now, this game I like to call taglines.
It's original.
It's original.
You've really thought
It's really good. I've thought about
this
it a lot. I'm going to say a tagline, and my friend Tyson is going to guess the film.
I'm going to give it a good crack. Now, I don't know. This is going to be hard, I think, for this year.
This is definitely not going to be hard, Tyson.
Okay.
You have no idea. The taglines basically say the film.
Oh, great. Good. Back in the 80s where it was nice and simple.
Exactly.
All
Back
right.
in the 80s. I just need one more. I'm gonna.
You need one more, you
I
reckon?
need one more. Yeah, I've only got 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, no, I've got 5.
Five's great.
5's good. Okay.
Let's do it.
We're going to start off nice and easy, Tyson.
I like
Here's
it.
a warm-up.
Do it.
We're going with your hint for this one is it is a sequel.
Mm-hmm.
Freddy Delivers.
This would be Nightmare on Elm Street 5.
Well done.
The Dream
Child. Well done, Tyson.
Nice.
The Dream Child, ladies and gentlemen.
Dream Child. I have not seen The Dream Child.
Yep. Dream Child. It's okay. It's passable. It's unfortunately at the end. It's where the filmmakers. Freddy was a icon at this point. Everyone knew who he was.
Yeah.
So they were milking it, and he wasn't scary. He was actually funny. This was the Nightmare on Elm Street that made the most money.
Wow.
Nightmare on Elm Street 5.
I'll tell you what.
And I'm going to say hands down, it's the fucking worst.
It's the worst.
Yeah, I hate it because
Okay.
actually, no, it's not the worst. The remake is the worst. But this is the one of the original series with Robert Englund where I hate Freddy funny.
Yeah, okay.
I hate
Sure.
it. Yeah.
And it's all a bit much in this one.
It hurts me.
This, I have a distinctive memory, and I might have talked about this before, of being in a cinema and seeing the teaser trailer.
For this?
For this, yeah. And I have the distinctive memory of seeing it because all I wanted to do was run away.
Right.
And I couldn't. And it was...
Was the teaser trailer...
The teaser trailer was just a pram.
Yep.
And the camera slowly panning in on it while...
Yeah. Freddy's coming for you.
Yep. Just... Camera kept panning, pram just slowly rocking back and forth. I can't remember how it finished. I think it finished with a claw maybe just ripping the screen, or popping out. I'd have to rewatch it. Maybe I'll post it so that everyone can see it because it'll be on YouTube. But literally, so that would have been, 7-year-old me? I was probably trying to watch Fern Gully or some shit.
Bullshit.
I don't know.
They wouldn't have shown a teaser trailer at the cinema.
I saw it. So I don't know what, I'm not making this shit up. I saw it as a kid. So maybe I got taken to an M-rated movie.
What did you go and see?
Well, maybe, who knows? It could have been just Mum and Dad could have taken me to an
probably like Ghostbusters 2 or something, right?
Yeah, like an M-rated movie. Because back in the day, they didn't give it two shits, man.
That's true.
M was M.
Get the kids in.
And so there was heaps of stuff that was like, oh, well, this is M-rated. She'll be right.
Yeah, that's true. You probably saw,
Batman.
Star Trek 5, The Final Frontier.
Yeah, true.
And you saw it at that.
Maybe.
Really?
I don't know.
No?
I don't think I saw the Star Trek movie.
Okay. You saw Meet the Feebles at the cinema.
I did see Meet the Feebles. No, they showed it before All Dogs Go to Heaven, and then someone was fired.
Some kid was fucking around.
Anyway,
that's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Next tagline.
Okay, here we go. Oh, Tyson. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
First, it was teacher to teacher. Then it was father to son.
Oh, yeah.
Now it's man to man.
Oh, yeah.
What is it, Tyson?
Karate Kid 3.
Well done. Well done, man.
Love
it. Straight on to the next one. Oh, no,
Yeah,
I've only got 4.
No,
I do only have 4. So I'm going to pick another one.
All
right.
What should I do in the meantime?
You're gonna hum a story. Hang on, wait. Next one. Do the next one first.
All right, so I'll pretend I'm thinking even if I know it, and I'll give you time to pick another one.
History is about to be rewritten by 2 guys who can't spell.
You're going to have to choose quickly, Nick, because I can't fill for this long.
Damn it. Jesus, really?
Well, how can I say this?
Are you excited about the sequel, Tyson?
Yeah, I am. I am, actually.
Are you really?
Well, because I'm really interested to see where it can potentially go. Where, of course, it's Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Yeah!
Which I thought long and hard about putting on this list, but I realised that
I couldn't
Bogus Journey, in my humble opinion, is far better.
Superior.
Yeah. And so in my head, I was like, would I put Bogus Journey on this list? And I was like, yes, I would.
Okay.
But I don't, but it would be like 9 or 10. It would be that kind of spot. And I was like, well, for me, it's superior than Excellent Adventure, so I don't think I can put that on this list.
Okay.
Even though I have a good time with it, it's a lot of fun. there's a lot of really good stuff in it. There's some shady stuff in it as well now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did you watch it recently?
Yeah, probably about 5 years ago.
Okay.
There was like a crappy DVD set that had both of them, which I think I feel like I've lost it or something because I was really unenthused with the transfer, and I think it might have even been like 4:3. I don't think it was even widescreen. Like it was really dodge, and I hated it. So I don't think I've got that anymore.
Okay.
But yeah, I do like that movie.
Okay.
Even though it's got a few
questionable things.
Yeah.
All right. Next one.
I
do know, your clue is I do know that you own this movie, Tyson.
Oh, right.
Here we go.
Okay.
He's the first, because this is getting a little bit difficult now.
Okay.
He's the first hero of the 21st century, and he's our hero.
Oh, and I own this.
You own this.
He's the first hero of the 21st century, and he's our hero.
This has never happened live on this show, but Molly Snow, thank you for liking our Instagram page.
Oh,
thank you for following us.
We appreciate it.
Oh, literally just happened. Tys,
first hero of the 21st century.
21st century.
So, okay, so he's referring to the... It's... I want to say it's not Cyborg, is it?
Ah, yes!
It is?
Yeah.
Yes, nice.
Well done.
I was like, what's a futuristic movie with a hero that I own?
Yeah.
No, I don't actually own Cyborg.
Oh, what?
No, because, and I'll tell you the story really briefly. Okay. I know we're running really late on time, but fuck yeah. Is that...
Because it's our podcast.
It's our podcast. We can go as long as we want.
Yeah.
Albert Pion, who directed it, released a director's cut, but it was like a bootleg director's cut. Yeah. And there's been rumors for a while that they're going to release that in like a special edition-y kind of thing. And I'm kind of holding out for that. So, yeah. And plus, there's no good version available. I tell a complete lie. I do own it. I own the shitty vanilla DVD because I got it for $1.
I'm pretty sure I saw it in your collection.
It's totally in my collection. Of course it is. I got it from $1 from an op shop, and I am holding off on getting the Blu-ray. Oh, in the hope that they release. They release this like bootleg cut.
Nice.
All right, last one. You got two more.
No, last one.
Okay, nice.
I've lost the tag line. Here we go. Wait. Here it is. Oh, this is a little bit easy. He was their inspiration. He made their lives extraordinary.
What?
He was their inspiration. He made their lives extraordinary.
Is it a movie we've talked about?
No.
He was their inspiration. He made their lives extraordinary.
I love how you don't look at the letterbox list. I look at the lists.
I'm trying not to,
Trying not to? All right.
But I feel like I might have to in this one.
I made it harder. A little bit harder.
A movie we haven't talked about.
Haven't talked about it?
I honestly have no idea.
You got nothing?
No.
Starring Robin Williams.
Oh... Of course.
It's at the top of the list, Tyson.
Dead Poets Society. Oh, God. Funny story.
Yeah.
Wanted to rewatch Dead Poets Society.
Yeah.
Got about 20 minutes into it.
And?
Watching with Rachel.
Yeah.
And...
You were nostalgic and put on Aladdin.
Well, no. I've never seen her turn so quickly on a film as she did during this. It was so... Really? She's like, I don't like this. I don't like it at all. I'm like, what do you mean? It's like, it's just so... Oh, it's just so wholesome. And so we didn't make it much further through Dead Poets Society. Like we got to around the point of them underground reading poetry at like the first meeting. She was like, this is just nonsense. And look, I'll be honest with you. If you're watching that through someone through those eyes,
now
I was also, because constantly I was hearing the chatter. She's not wrong. That movie's not great. I
watched it once. I remember I saved it up. I was like, everyone talks about this movie. Everyone. Oh, Captain, my Captain. All right, let's see it. Watched it. Was like, this is a fucking piece of shit. What the fuck is this film? So hence to say, God. Dead Poets, ladies and gentlemen, is not on Tyson Myers.
No, it didn't make it. Definitely did not make it.
100%. That was taglines. Tyson wins.
We're up to the top three.
We're into top three here, Tyson. This is the big game.
We're gonna knock them out quickly.
Here we go.
I wonder how many we're both gonna have. Interesting. Your number 3, Nicholas,
is something that I know that you'll table.
Okay.
Indiana Jones.
Yes, we'll come back to that. My number 3, Nicholas.
Tyson.
It's a movie that wasn't sure it was going to be on my list until I rewatched it, and it immediately jumped towards the top of my list.
Did you watch it today?
I think it's a fucking masterpiece. No.
Oh.
It's The Abyss. James Cameron.
The Abyss.
I Loved it.
Really?
Yeah.
Top 3, Tys.
Yeah. It's my third favourite film of the year.
Okay.
It was always the James Cameron movie that I'd watched the least.
Okay.
Up to this point. It was like the Ugly Stepchild.
Yep.
That I just was kind of like, oh yeah, and he also made this.
Sure.
Never bothered past the first watch that I did maybe in like 1997. Right?
Right. Rewatched
it. I loved it. I really, really loved it.
Okay.
I found so much to enjoy in it. I think the love story is top notch. I think it tugs at the heartstrings in ways that he has only ever equaled in something like Titanic.
Yep.
I think the special effects are remarkable for their era.
Yep.
I think Michael Biehn is always the best, but he is such a great villain
He's very
in
good
this.
in this. He's very good in this.
He's so believable.
That's true.
He's so terrifying. Oh God, it's Mary Stuart Masterson.
Mary Stuart
is
Masterson.
It? Yeah.
Yep.
Why is she not a bigger movie star? She's incredible in this.
I believe something happened. I could be wrong,
Okay.
but I believe something happened.
I mean, we had Robin Hood.
We did.
But like they're two roles that I just
Massive. She was massive for the 90s.
And she's outstanding in both of them.
Yeah, I think it was an unfortunate accident or something
Okay.
happened.
I'll have to
look it up.
check it out.
I watched this. Yeah, Ed Harris. I watched this for the first time. This was the first one I wanted to knock off.
Yeah, right.
I had never seen The Abyss. It has
Sure.
always been on my list because of James Cameron. I watched it, sat with it. I was like, I'm not connected to the characters. That yes, the special effects were absolutely amazing. It went from this to T1000. So obviously, they were so good for the time. You're right. Michael Biehn was amazing. The length of the movie was perfect. Do you know what I mean? It was long enough because it needed to be that long.
Yeah. Now, did you watch I watched this theatrical edition. Did you watch the special extended edition?
Maybe.
That's on DVD now, or?
Mine went for 2.5 hours.
Mine, it's 2 hours 20-ish is the theatrical cut.
Yeah, mine's 2.5.
Yeah, right. So you might have watched the extended one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I watched with it, sat with it. I thought that was a mediocre. That was an okay movie. It was good.
Sure.
I'll leave it as good.
Okay.
Then I sat with it again and changed it. I'm like, no, I'm giving it another star because half a star because I was like, no, that really was good. That was a good movie.
To me it stumbled a bit to begin with.
Yeah.
But once we got down in there with the Navy guys and everything settled for a little bit, and we really started to learn about these people.
And it really has
and shit
elements
started to hit the fan.
of aliens. Like you've got the crew in there.
Oh,
and,
it feels like alien, like alien style crew for sure.
And reading about it a little, through IMDb and things like that. Like he did his thing. Like he got the crew together. They rehearsed.
Yep.
They were family, so they were like that.
And look, we've heard it was an absolute nightmare to film.
Yeah,
and people wanted to, like, Ed Harris punched James Cameron or some shit and like stormed off. And
Michael
like, good
Biehn
on him.
Doesn't talk about it anymore.
I love it. Ed Harris, man, what a fucking legend,
dude. As if you're gonna punch him with Ed Harris, mate.
I love you. He's just like, because what happened? He nearly drowned or something, and he didn't cut, and so he just punched him in the face. Yeah. I love that. Yeah. That's amazing.
And Mary Stuart Masterson said she She was so traumatized by it. There would be days where she would go home and just bawl her eyes out because of the level of stress that she was under on that film.
And look,
working underwater, man.
It's funny though because you can feel in these character performances. You feel like when they show joy and when they show like any kind of emotional release. I find it just so infectious. Like the moments when. And by the way, this does Armageddon better than Armageddon does Armageddon.
Yeah, this does better than Armageddon, 100%.
Like,
yeah, I had those moments as well. It's because of the station itself. Like, it's such a house. Like, it's such a little fortress where it literally lifted into space, and it is aliens.
Yes, yeah.
Like, it's that good. But they do all the mini submarine, the moving of the arm, the grabbing of all the things.
Yep.
That looks amazing for the time that it was. My God,
I can't believe. Like, you look at it and you're like. How
this is
this?
The 80s.
This is exactly. Yeah. This is legitimately at the bottom of the ocean, right? This is. I'm like, well, they must have actually filmed it at the bottom of the ocean because it just looks so good. But specifically, what I was talking about with the Armageddon thing, and spoilers for The Abyss, and for Armageddon.
Sure,
Ed Harris doesn't die. If he did die, this movie. How this movie isn't known as the better way that of Armageddon happens, because when I'd forgotten if he lives or died, right? And so when he's on the bottom and Mira Steenburgen is trying to talk to him and he's saying goodbye, wife, I was fucking losing my shit.
Really?
I was gone for all money.
Oh,
like probably the most I've welled up watching a movie in 15 years.
Oof.
Like,
really?
I was a
You
shambles.
took a Green Mile style crying. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, like sobbing.
Oh, that's a nice. I like it.
And so I was like, as an emotional connection in this film, I really dug it. I think as it went on, I found myself getting so much more invested in them. Not just really in them, in everything to do with it. That bit where he won't let her die.
No, that was
God,
intense.
it's just
the emotional release of everyone.
Exactly.
Because everyone was there in that moment.
Oh God, I think there's some really wonderful stuff in this movie, and I think it gets overlooked a little bit. And I'm really glad that I rediscovered it, and I think that's probably why it's so high as well, because I felt like I'd been sitting on a gem, and finally, because I've had the special edition DVD.
Oh right.
Since like I don't know, 10 years. Right. Never watched it. Never watched the DVD.
You opened the plastic when you watched it. Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So, but I watched the theatrical version.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so it was kind of like I was really so happy that I'd finally discovered this gem, and I'm like, so I'm telling people now, it's like, hey man, don't sleep on the Abyss. It's a really like go back, watch it. It's up there with the James Camerons.
Yeah,
loved it.
Nice, The Abyss.
Yeah, The Abyss. That was my number 3. Your number 2, Nicholas.
My number 2. Oh, my number 2 is a Batman film. 100%.
Well, to be.
Oh, please.
No, not to be obnoxious in any way.
Okay.
It didn't make my list.
No, that's okay. Please.
Yeah.
No, my by all means.
Well, I feel like, considering we've talked about this so much and because of how big fans we are, I'm sure people were expecting maybe that it would be.
Yeah.
But it's definitely not.
Definitely not for you?
No,
that's okay. No. That's okay. This was a big one for me because this was the first superhero movie that took it serious.
Sure.
That I was as a film watcher, when I realized that I loved watching movies, that movies were my thing, that this is the Batman that got the superhero genre right.
Sure.
This was the first one. Because yes, 78 Superman was that, but that's a bit different for me. That's my dad showing me that movie. This is what Superman is.
Sure.
And I shared that with my dad. This was me finding this movie.
I get what
you're saying. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So not only that, you've got a superhero that's dark. This isn't a kids movie. You don't find this movie in the kids section. So that was a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
The Batmobile, if you ask me what the Batmobile is, it's this Batmobile.
This is the best design of the Batmobile.
It's not a fucking tumbler that wrecks the city. It's not something that shoots fucking guns in Batman and versus Superman.
These ones have guns pop out of them, though.
Yeah, but that's not for this. This is the Batmobile.
Sure.
Not only that,
Batman Returns one is good too because it's got the little glowing silver
well,
things.
if you're gonna, Batman Returns. But yeah, this was the one that was hands down like this. It's up there for me. I've watched this many times. Many times. Jack Nicholson's performance from that to Michael Keaton is my Batman.
Yep.
It's not George Clooney.
No, because we all thought it was George Clooney.
I know you all went there. I know you all did because everyone loves George Clooney, but it's definitely not Ben Affleck. It's not Christian Bale. It's Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton is still my favorite. Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I adore this movie. This movie is nice. It's long. It's dark. The set pieces are just amazing. The only Batman Returns is better for me. I prefer Batman Returns, but this is from the mansion to everything with Vicky Vale, hilariously Alfred bringing her into the Batcave, which every fanboy has questions with. Yeah, midway through the movie, what the fuck are you doing in here?
He was going to tell her anyway, and he didn't have he couldn't tell her. Alfred's smart. Although Alfred does totally stuff up his game at one point when he's like Bruce Wayne's got his whole shtick where he's like, oh, actually, I've got to go out of town for a few days, so we're not going to see each other for a little while, but thanks for the sex.
Yeah.
And then
we're leaving.
Alfred's
we'll be here for quite some time.
We'll be here for quite some time. I don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like, Alfred, come on, man.
Alfred, you idiot, shut up.
Exactly. He's like a billionaire playboy.
Yeah.
You're telling me he's never had to cover for him before? 100%. He should know. If a woman that he's kicking out in the morning says, oh, enjoy your trip, his instant reaction should be like, oh, of course, we'll be gone for a little while.
Yeah.
Alfred.
Come on, Alfred.
Come on, man. What are you doing? Exactly.
Yeah.
Stop stepping on his game, bruh.
100%. But I love this movie. I'm a big fan. You just watched this again today, didn't you,
No, look, I watched it last night, and I'll be completely honest, Nick.
You were jet lagged.
I wasn't jet lagged. Because I had to go out of town for a couple of days after you stayed over the other night. I really hate saying it. I really didn't enjoy it this last watch.
Yeah.
And I left my rating relatively high. Neutral, yeah. Because I'm like, at the end of it last night, I was like, I can't make my decision based on that watch because for some reason, if I made that decision based on last night, I'd be saying that I think Batman Forever's better than this. Like,
okay.
I really struggled with it last night.
Right.
There are certain things I still like in it. Mm-hmm. I still like Michael Keaton. I was growing very impatient with Jack Nicholson.
Really?
Last night, I was like, I don't like what you're doing at all anymore. I was getting so frustrated with Tim Burton last night. I was like, oh no, I have had it with your nonsense. I don't think I like Tim Burton as a director anymore. I think I'm over him. It was a really weird one. And Prince started playing and I'm like, why is Prince playing?
Prince signed on to do the soundtrack, so he has all the music throughout the whole thing. But this is the birth of Danny Elfman's theme of Batman, my friend. Come on.
I do love the Batman theme still, of course. But yeah, it was really, I don't know what was up my ass last night, but I did not enjoy it.
Did not feel it.
And so I kept my rating neutral because I feel like it's Batman.
It's Batman.
But
that's all right.
I don't know if maybe I'm just...
Maybe 5-6 years.
Exactly. But seeing that, we watched Batman Returns not that long ago.
No, that was a while ago.
Like a year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah.
We really enjoyed it. I remember our conversation. And so it's funny that I can rewatch that, still really enjoy that. Rewatch this, maybe for the first time in maybe 5-6 years, and be like, oh no, I'm not liking this anymore. Okay. So I'll be interested to see how I go on the next watch.
Nice. I like it. I prefer Batman Returns, hands down. Not only from the villains, but it's up there with... And I know I'm going to get crucified for this, but if someone says what's the best Batman film, it's neck and neck with The Dark Knight for me.
Yeah,
Batman Returns. Only because I like it because it's not the world ending. It's not Batman saving the world. It's just a day in the life of Batman.
I think there's much better character stuff going on in Batman Returns than there is in the original Batman.
The original Batman?
I think it gets, it felt like it got really bogged down in telling... like a Jack Nicholson kind of...
Yeah, it focuses a lot on Napier. I'm not a big fan of that, I like to say, timeline. Him killing the Wayneses, but hey, sure.
The Wayneses?
The Wayneses.
Marlon Wayans and Keenan Ivory Wayans of White Chicks. No, Damon Wayans. No, that's the dad, isn't it? There's too many Wayans brothers.
Wayans.
The guys from White Chicks, basically. When Jack Napier shot the guys from White Chicks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They're White Chicks killers. You idiot. That's hilarious.
Although I do like whoever that actor is they got to do a young Jack Nicholson. Great.
He's pretty good.
He's great.
He's good.
Although he's way too handsome. Because considering where Jack Nicholson ended up, he's like 5'0" with this weird square head.
Yeah, that's true. God, I love that movie. It's a good movie. Oh, that's good.
White Chicks, you mean?
Definitely not White Chicks. Definitely not White Chicks.
Nick.
Definitely not. Tyson.
What number was that? Your number 2?
That was my number 2.
All right, my number 2. Well, my number 2 and 1 are pretty interchangeable, but my number 2 is a movie I've talked about a lot. It's probably one of my favourite films from one of my favourite directors. It's Born on the 4th of July.
Born on the 4th.
Oliver Stone.
Yep.
Rewatched it again. Mm-hmm. I still love it. I still find it almost flawless. Mm-hmm. I think there's a couple of little moments here and there that I feel like it just meanders a little bit, and I'm not quite sure where it comes down at the ending, whether or not it tells a complete enough story.
Sure.
But having said that, I just am so in this movie while I'm watching it, and even at the end, it's not so much that I don't think it ends well. I think it needed to be longer. Because maybe I just wanted to be in this movie longer, and maybe I'm just disappointed that it ends.
Okay.
I love it. It's probably one of my favorite Tom Cruise performances. It is
You're a big Oliver Stone fan, aren't you?
Huge. Yeah. And look, I know that it's questionable because he's the distance between his bad movies and his good movies is a chasm of space. But I just think his good movies are so very good, and so very much in line with what I consider like just amazingly good.
Yeah, right.
Even if I know it's not for everybody, I honestly know it's not. People watch Natural Born Killers and think it's garbage, and I understand that. But just for some reason, for me, it ticks all the boxes for me, and I love it.
Okay.
Platoon, Natural Born Killers, this Born on the 4th of July.
Yeah.
There's this streak. Any Given Sunday, even I adore.
I love Sunday.
The Doors. Which is probably getting towards the bottom of that list, but still fantastic. Yeah. JFK,
so good. I watched. This was one on the list that when we said we were going to do this year, that I was really looking forward to watching.
Yeah, cool.
And this was my first watch of it.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
how'd you go?
I'd never watched it before. I think it was built up too much.
Sure.
I'd like to rewatch in maybe a year or two and see what happens. I didn't mind it. I I thought his performance was good. I thought his performance was good, but yes, what you're saying rings true. Towards the end, I felt like I was getting just flashbacks of what was happening. There was no through storyline for me towards the end.
Look, I mean,
what's happening in the end here? But the scenes that, like, there are scenes in this movie that I was like, Jesus, like that hospital scene came out and I was really, it kind of hit me in the face. I was like, what the fuck am I watching? Like, this is intense. Like, it really was hard.
The sequence in the recovery hospital is incredibly hard to watch. I find the sequence, when he's with the prostitute in Mexico, I find that scene so uncomfortable and it's just so sad. I think that there are standout moments of this film,
and that's what I kind of took away from it. That there were moments that he was, and I like that Oliver Stone knows how to make a film. He'll take the time you get to know Tom Cruise's character before he goes to Vietnam, sort of thing.
And I love the pre-Vietnam sequence because it is such a
Hollywood
movie.
But
it's twisted on itself though. Like, I love that it's this, like, he paints this character that never gets what he wants. Like, he's such a sorry story, like, in the sense that Oliver Stone makes it like the quintessential Hollywood movie sad story about the high school hero who went to Vietnam.
Except and he's going to win the war,
and writes it like that.
Yeah,
but the events that are occurring, he's never that person. He loses the big wrestling tournament. He doesn't get the girl.
Exactly.
I mean, he has that one moment of prom joy,
still.
But he doesn't get there's no real happiness for him. He thinks he's the quintessential American teenage boy.
Superhero, yeah.
That's what Tom Cruise thinks his own character is. He thinks, and when they talk about the war and Tom Berenger makes that gag and they all chuckle about, like when he makes the gag about the army being soft or whatever, and they all go, oh.
Yeah.
It's this, they're playing out everyone's idea of what the perfect American life is when it never really existed, and it's such a deconstruction of that fantasy. I just fucking love it. I think it's so good.
And what I do love about Oliver Stone, and you see it a lot in Any Given Sunday as well, is that he doesn't make a movie for movie's sake. He's not there to, we're going to do a film and it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
No, he's there to tell a story, and the story has to be told. Like, he's almost the filmmaker that we need to be telling stories.
I never call any of his films fun. They're not fun. They're not.
No.
Then having said
JFK maybe, but
that's not fun.
It's not fun, but
super enjoyable.
Yeah,
like it's. I find all these movies though completely like. I get lost in them almost immediately, and they could be like JFK is 4 hours long.
Yeah,
and it feels like a breeze.
Yeah,
it feels like it goes by in a breeze.
Hour.
So his pacing and editing is exceptional, I think, as well.
I just love that. There's like when you're watching the movie, you realize why he's telling this tale. Like, I didn't know. Like, obviously, at some point, the population found out what was actually happening in Vietnam, and things like that. There's just things that I wanted a little bit more of, and that's why I kind of rated it a little bit neutral at that point. Yeah. Only because I'd rather watch it again and go, okay, this is how I actually feel.
Yeah, I think when paired with Platoon as well, I think they become a really nice
ensemble.
Pairing of what's going on, like his opinion of Vietnam, and I think that shaped a lot of people's opinions on Vietnam.
Because he did tours, didn't he?
Yeah, he was there. He was there. He's telling the stories that he knows. And he's one of the earlier filmmakers. And there's another movie that came out this year that I might talk about briefly in honorable mentions. That one of the first that really kind of dug into the horrible shit that was happening.
Right.
Full Metal Jacket obviously dealt with some of that as well. But the public perception, this movie was extremely popular. He won Best Director at the Oscars, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
The public perception of the war, I think, was helped, but became more widely. People became more widely aware of some of the shit that happened that they weren't aware of at that point because of what this and Platoon to an extent as well.
Yeah, but yeah, Jesus, man, that hospital scene that knocked me. I had to pause and kind of look up. Did this fucking actually are you kidding me? This is the shit.
Disgusting, isn't it?
Yeah,
just disgusting, awful, gross, and heartbreaking.
Full on, man. Yeah.
Anyway,
that was your number.
That was my number 2. So Nick, we're on to your number 1, Nicholas.
Oh, Tys, number 1. It's a sequel.
So it's not on my list.
It's not on your list at all?
No.
Fuck.
Because we're out. So that means that you...
This film has a DeLorean in it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Your favourite film?
Favourite film of this year?
I thought about putting it on the list.
God damn.
Back to the Future Part 2.
Back to the Future Part 2. Yeah.
I enjoy your, fucking attitude and just saying, you know what? No, I'm putting Back to the Future number 2.
Back to the Future Part 2.
That's my favourite film.
Yeah.
Because you know what? I've probably watched that movie more than any other movie out of this year.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I love it sick. And I probably should have put it on my list. What am I thinking? What am I thinking?
That's the thing. Like I look at it and go, what is the movie that I will rewatch hands down, no matter what?
Yeah.
You know, and it's Back to the Future Part 2. You know, I was ecstatic. It's such a moment in my life of when I watched this.
Yeah.
I can tell you the story. So it was Friday night. Friends of the family came over. We normally watch a movie. I had rewatched Back to the Future Part 1 a billion times. My dad knew that I love this movie. And a friend of ours worked at the video store, gave us the preview tape to Back to the Future Part 2.
Nice.
My dad hid it from me. I didn't know what it was. He put it in and says, all right, everyone, we're going to watch the movie. We put it on. Because it started, my dad covered my eyes with his hand and opened them as the 2 slid into the arrow and went like that. From then on in, it was just a love fest. Like it hands down. Like, and as an adult, I love the fact that it's the darker twin of the darker movie of the trilogy.
It does killer stuff. Like, it really does. It's so clever. It's so ambitious.
Good. And it's one of those movies, like, the reason why I'm a big fan of Endgame is because it goes back onto the first and shows you this was what actually, you know, and this is the movie that I referenced that from, you know.
It's an amazing...
huge fan.
Yeah, so it's an amazing trick.
Not only did you get to live the Back to the Future Part 2, but you were reliving 1.
Yeah, and so, look, that is far and away the strongest part of that film. I think the first... I might have talked about this maybe once before. I think the first hour or so, or maybe 45 minutes.
Yeah.
A little bit all over the shop with the future stuff.
The future stuff was great,
It's fun, but it's not... I don't find it anywhere near as compelling as the second half of this movie. Yeah. Which I think is genuinely just incredible. And look, that probably speaks to the strength of number 1 as well, because we're so happy to be back in that world.
Exactly.
Yeah. But look, I mean, it's a great movie.
Yeah.
I don't really listen to anyone that says that it's no good.
No.
I think saying, you know, the people that decide, everyone has their opinions. It's totally fine. I love everyone's opinions.
Sure.
Whatever. Sure. But I completely disagree with anyone that says that 2 and 3 are like no good. I think
You're wrong.
I think 1 is fantastic.
Yeah.
2 and 3 are great.
Yeah.
And I'm
100%.
more than happy to watch either one of them at any point, because I think they've all got incredible strengths.
Yeah.
Yeah, good choice.
Jeez, it's so good.
Yeah, nice. Well, we're definitely gonna be doing a full episode on that one at some point.
We will.
Getting back our man Adam Stolfo for another Back to the Future Fest.
We'll do that.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, because we've got a lot to talk about and it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I will mention though.
Yeah.
One last thing.
Of course.
Into that, they go. I remember it was a meme. Everyone used to change the time, and I knew from my head of what rewatching it so much. The time that they go to is October 21st, 2015. When that day happened,
yes,
Pepsi released the Pepsi Perfect.
Yes,
came out. They only released a certain amount. The amount that you had to pay for it was $20.15.
Yes,
2015.
Of course.
I don't know why they didn't. They missed out on just cashing the fuck in. Like, you missed out. I don't have one. I'm very fucking pissed off.
Many people would have bought them. Nick, I'm going to tell you something.
Tys?
You have 100% told that story before.
Have I?
Yes.
Have I really?
Because I know. Because you were pissed off last time too. Because you're like,
I
want one. Why don't I have a Pepsi Perfect?
I would love a Pepsi Perfect. God damn it. Someone give me a fucking Pepsi Perfect.
That's how upset about it you are. Is that you're like, you're still ranting about
my favourite film of that year. God damn it. Why haven't you?
It's so good.
Oh
man, that's fantastic. But I feel your pain, man. And you know what, Pepsi, get your shit together, guys. Come on, seriously.
Forget it. You've missed the boat, man. You missed the boat.
That's it. You fucked it forever now. You can't get back in time.
Now.
Oh. Losers.
I love that I told that story.
Yeah, probably twice, to be honest.
So good.
All right, my last one. This was your
third.
This was your third choice, and it's my first choice. It's Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
What a film!
It's easily my favorite film of this year.
Yeah.
Whether or not it's the best film is kind of up for debate, but
yeah.
it is the movie that I know that I have take the most enjoyment out of watching.
Yeah.
I like this out of the three, the best of the
4,
Indiana Jones.
thank
Excuse me. What was that thing? Fuck that.
I legit fell asleep. I don't know what happens
I've
at
seen
the
it
end of
once,
Crystal Skull.
and I will never watch it again.
No, no one should.
No. Yeah, so it's my favourite. Like, I know Raiders of the Lost Ark is incredible too, and Temple of Doom has its merit.
Its place, 100%.
For sure, but for me, it's Last Crusade all the way. The addition of Sean Connery, I think, is genius.
Do you think it's because of that, though? Do you think it's the build of Sean? Like, it's because it's
to
such
me,
Sean Connery's like
nobody.
a father-son.
Like, Sean Connery's nobody to me. Like,
no,
as a
but
kid.
Indiana Jones is, and you see the relationship. You finally see Indiana Jones relating to his dad.
Yeah, their dynamic with each other, I think, is incredible, and they play off each other so well. And he's an excellent foil to Indy, and I love the team that's built by this point, because we do have, we have Indy, we have Sala, Marcus, and like. They're this unit by this point, and I love that little kind of dynamic that they all have between each other. I think the story, for some reason, it's the one I find the most interesting as well. Maybe because I was like raised Catholic, so I had the most to relate to it. And
100%. Well, this was the one that I actually knew of. I knew that there was, like, I'd heard stories of the Holy Grail and things like that. Yeah. I don't know what the Ark is. I don't know what the stones are that he finds in the Temple of Doom. I don't know what those are. But, that was kind of something relatable.
Sure. And it's so cleverly put together as well for a kid, because that last section, when they're in the tomb and he has to complete the tasks, as a kid,
you are gobsmacked.
Oh my God, you are so excited for these bits. Yeah. And I used to watch that movie and get to that section, and in my head, even though I'd seen it 300 times,
is he going to make that
still
step?
Be thinking about which one has he got to step on next. Yeah. It's Jehovah. Oh, but in the Latin, Jehovah starts with an I, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, an I. Yeah, because he goes to step on J and it crumbles.
Jake.
Yeah. Every single. Oh man.
Leap from the lion's head. Okay, there's the lion's head.
Yeah, the lion's head, and the bit where he throws the rocks. Every time it catches my eyeballs. Every time I try to find out. I try to look and see where it is.
Spielberg's too good.
And then the camera just does that great turn, and it just comes into focus.
How good is that?
Yeah.
So good. That's just small. That's just the tilt of the camera. That's all that is. He chose poorly.
Oh man, and
the best thing is, this is the one where the bad guys are Nazis, and Nazis are the best bad guys.
Yeah, look, if you need a bad guy, make them Nazis.
Make them Nazis.
They should always be Nazis.
Are you kidding me?
Because then you can't offend anybody for making. You're not going to look back in 10 years like we look back now at. All through the 90s, every villain in an action movie was from the Middle East. And you're
East, they'd be like, oh, fuck.
Ooh.
I love how...
That's racist. It's racist as hell.
I love how... It's not great, but I love how... My favourite TV show of all time is 24. Now, I think it's after season 3,
sure,
all the villains start off Middle Eastern, but it's at the end...
They change?
No, because their strings are being pulled by a rich white man.
Of course.
Yeah, every single time. Yeah.
The point of the story is nobody's going to be offended if you're making Nazis the bad guys.
If you talk to actual Germans about it, they love it. They give it a laugh.
Yeah. So forever Nazis as bad guys in movies.
It's the name of Tyson's band.
That's my new band.
Forever Nazis. I'm kidding.
I'm going to go play at the green room
Please
bar.
Don't play at the green room bar. It's fucked up. God damn
Patrick Stewart.
Exactly. You'll need a Stanley knife. Oh, that's a good movie.
That's a fucking great movie.
Indiana Jones.
I don't think there's much more to say about that.
Man.
I will say, do you know how I watched this the most as a kid?
Sure.
Is the VHS that I got from McDonald's.
What?
Yep.
Oh, fuck
there was
off.
a deal where you could get the Indiana Jones VHSs from McDonald's for like $4.99 with a purchase of a Happy Meal or something.
What?
I got the VHS from McDonald's.
What?
I shit you not.
Do you still have that?
I do. Possibly still have it in my childhood home with mum and dad.
Okay.
Because it used to live in just the TV cabinet.
Yes. That'd be worth money. I'm kidding. Is it a VHS?
It is a VHS.
Oh,
it might be worth some money.
Keep it.
I'm going to go track it down.
Can you take a photo of the cover for me, please?
I will.
Thank you.
If I ever find it.
Oh.
But yeah, that's
back
the way
in the day when Happy Meals was something decent. Look at that shit.
Yeah.
How good were Happy Meals back in the 80s
sure
and
it's
90s,
McDonald's.
man?
I hope I'm not making this up.
Seriously, do you remember when Batman Forever came out? We all got those glass cups. My mum still has 2 of them. She has the Riddler one and the Batman one.
Nice.
The glass cups, they were great.
Do you remember a little while, I don't know if you did this at your video store, but for a little while, if you rented like a new release,
I love this.
You'd have a bunch of like cool movies from the 90s, and you'd buy a take home copy for like $2.99 with a rental. Did you ever do that? We did that at Video Easy sometimes. I'm trying to think of some of the movies that we did, but it was movies like buy a copy of rent Fast and the Furious, and for $2.99 you can take home The Firm.
Oh, okay.
A copy of The Firm on VHS.
Nice.
Like shit like that.
A lot of running happens in that movie.
Yeah.
I didn't do that. We did a lot of giveaways. I remember I still have, I'm pretty sure, tucked away in a suitcase somewhere where Clark can get it out and where it is the T-shirt that I got with the film that came out, Go.
Oh, nice.
Remember that movie? That's such a 2000s movie.
I had so many movie T-shirts from Video Store. Now that you mention it, they're all...
Urban Legends T-shirt.
Oh, nice.
Urban Legends. And I remember that, this is my favourite giveaway, like Your Firm, was when... Boogie Nights came out.
Yeah.
We gave away rulers.
Oh my God.
Think about it.
That's...
You're not going to get away with that anymore.
No, that's wild.
We gave away, I think it was amazing. Like 30 rulers.
Boogie Nights, and it had Boogie Nights printed on them?
Rulers.
Did it have a little pencil mark at the appropriate point?
I doubt it. But
because it didn't quite cover it, and maybe it was actually not quite long enough.
How good is that?
That's awesome.
Come on,
that's fucking such a great idea. If that would be worth money, that would be worth it. Fucking yep. Oh
there
man,
you go.
The things that I wish we had kept from our days working.
Do you know what I did, Kev? I did keep. I kept it, and it's at my mum's house, and I saw it the other day, and I threw it the fuck away.
No.
I was like, no one's going to want money for this. I bought and kept in mint condition the poster of Star Wars: The Phantom Menace.
Dude, you're crazy.
I threw that shit in the bin.
No, don't. Did you really?
No one's going to want it, man.
People do.
Bullshit.
Dude.
Threw that shit away.
Oh my God. Was it like framed? No. Or was it in a tube?
No, it was in a tube. It was
still tubed?
It was mint.
Oh, dude, someone's cursing your name right now.
You could curse my name. That movie was shit. You don't need that.
Yeah, that movie's shit. But I'm going to look it up on eBay and I'm going to embarrass you.
Do it right now. Do it right now. Go on, do it right now.
Condition,
do it.
Phantom Menace poster.
Remember the time we did Lost Boys on the show and we did the swatch thing? Remember that on the wall? And you were like, that can't be money. That can't be cost money. And I told you how much it was. You were like, fuck me.
I used to love those things. Yeah. Hey, Nick, so we're not going to talk any more of that. Do you want to recap your top 10 while I do this?
Absolutely. My top 10, starting at number 10, is Pet Cemetery, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Lean on Me at number 8, Parenthood, The Little Mermaid, Lethal Weapon 2, Uncle Buck, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, Batman, and Back to the Future Part 2 sitting at number 1.
Nice. Let me quickly just grab my list and do a bit of a rehash.
If you tell me that Phantom Menace is worth like $500...
you're going to be disappointed.
No.
Number 10, my best favourite films of 1989. Number 10, Salute of the Chunga / The Blood of Heroes. Number 9, Lethal Weapon 2. Number 8, Say Anything. Number 7, The Burbs. Number 6, Do the Right Thing. Number 5, Field of Dreams. Number 4, Parenthood. Number 3, The Abyss. Number 2, Born on the 4th of July. And number 1, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Oh.
Now, Nicholas, someone is selling the Phantom Menace movie poster, original mint, DS vinyl, for $94.
I'm fine. I threw it in the bin. If you want it, go rummage my mum's bin. Actually, stay the fuck away from my mum. I'm kidding.
Tell you what, though.
Go on, Tys.
If you had that cool one where it was the kid and his shadow was Darth Vader.
Darth Vader. Yeah. If you had that original, what do you got? See,
it's not more money, but it's a great poster.
It's a better poster, yeah. No one's buying... Tys, the reason no one's going to keep the Phantom Menace, if you look at the original New Hope poster, which was hand-drawn, that you're going to pay money for. Even a reprint of that, you're going to pay a fair amount of money for.
Oh, man, if you had the actual one that the guy painted by hand, you could retire.
Exactly. If you're getting the floating heads of Ewan McGregor and Liam Neeson and fucking Jar Jar Binks, I wouldn't give you
Hey, man, all I'm saying is some people will. You never know what's going to be worth money.
It's a full
You don't throw that shit out.
Clutter my fucking house. Get the hell out. God damn it.
Oh, well. Maybe it's just me. That's why I'm like hoarding all this stuff.
Exactly. I'll give it to Tys.
Nicholas,
next one, man. Tys?
Any honourable mentions?
Definitely.
Should we just rattle them off quickly? Because I mean, it's going to be a long episode. People are just going to have to suck it up.
No, mine we've kind of mentioned. My honourable mention is Weekend at Bernie's, but only in an honourable mention. Don't watch it.
In an ironic, not ironic, but like
yeah.
Bit of a cheeky, tongue-in-cheek way.
Nightmare on Elm Street 5, we've already talked about. Dream Child, which
is your least favourite.
As my least favourite, but,
Freddy.
It's a Freddy Krueger movie.
Yep.
And Ghostbusters 2, man. Ghostbusters 2. Not many people love it, but it was a legit sequel. It did shit all.
Don't mind it. I'll be honest.
But I'll watch it again.
Yeah, I'll happily watch it. I don't find it anywhere near as bad as Reputation has.
It was still good.
As the reputation it has, I should say.
Ones that we didn't mention, though, that will... There are people screaming down the thing at us. The fact that the Twin Peaks film came out this year. Now,
Firewalk with Me?
I'm not a Twin Peaks fan.
No, I've never seen Firewalk
I've never
with
seen
Me.
it, so I'm not going to try and jump into that pool just yet.
Nope.
I know that Jerry and Sonia are screaming down the radio at us. I just didn't dip into that pool, and I knew that if I was going in, I'm going to go all the way in, and I just didn't have enough time.
Yeah, I don't want to watch that movie without watching the series.
Exactly.
I feel like it would be... Yeah. It's already going to be difficult because it's a David Lynch film to kind of figure out what the fuck's going on.
Exactly.
Why make it harder work for yourself?
And the other two... one we've done before, we did it actually almost this last year, was National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Avoid.
That doesn't need to be anywhere near a top 10 list.
Fucking shithouse. But the other one, Tyson, that I wanted to mention, and that I hope that you have. Oh no, actually, I'll leave it out. What have you got? Honorable mentions.
Well, we have spoken about it, but Cyborg was definitely one of them. I was picking a Van Damme movie I wanted to talk about. Cyborg.
Yep.
Black Rain, the Ridley Scott directed Michael Douglas kind of like Yakuza thing.
Yep. No, he's done.
Far out. Best of the Best.
Best of the Best.
Oh my God. If you haven't seen Best of the Best and you like martial arts movies, get on it. It is something else. It really is. The whole last fight is like a full tournament with 5 fights or something in it. And they are some of the greatest stuff. Eric Roberts gets his shoulder dislocated and popped back in, strapped up, and goes back out on the mat. It's something else.
Right.
Eric Roberts is in this movie, by the way, with the most rad 80s mullet. Oh my God, his beautiful hair.
Mullets, man.
Yeah.
Bring that on.
Best of the best. Don't sleep on this one, guys. It's real good. Yeah, and the other one I want to mention really quickly, and it's a bit of a downer, but I watched Casualties of War, the Brian De Palma movie with Sean Penn and Michael J. Fox. I knew that it was dealing with some pretty gnarly shit that went down during the war. I was not prepared. It's a harrowing experience.
Fuck.
Props to De Palma because he did not sugarcoat it at all.
Right.
Did not shy away from the real, it's just heartbreaking to watch this film. It does this weird thing where it becomes like a De Palma thriller for about 5 minutes near the end.
Okay.
Where all of a sudden we're in the POV of someone trying to kill somebody. And I was like, oh shit, we just went full De Palma all of a sudden.
Okay.
The whole movie's got De Palma-isms in it. He's, the split diopter and all that kind of stuff. And some really nice shot composition and slow fades and stuff. But yeah, it goes full POV De Palma for a little bit. I'm like, what the fuck movie am I watching now? Really... Just brutal movie. So I think if you're in the mood, it's a hard movie to recommend.
Okay.
It's an exceptionally well-made movie. I think it's nice to see Michael J. Fox in a role
that's
a little bit
comedic.
different.
Yeah. I've always wanted to watch it.
I liked him. I really liked him. Because the guy's meant to be kind of out of his depth and in this situation that he doesn't know how to control. And it kind of works that it's Michael J. Fox because Michael J. Fox in a war probably would be something kind of a bit out of his depth.
Right.
And Sean Penn he may be overdoing it a bit, but he's doing something, and you're either on board or you're not.
I like that. I like that description.
Yeah, but if you're feeling like you want to be depressed for a week, Casualties of War.
Okay. We didn't mention, look at these films though, Tice. You're looking Major League, Steel Magnolias, Glory.
I started watching Glory. I didn't want to.
Really?
I didn't want to poo-poo it for anybody.
Oh, okay.
I turned it off very quickly.
Roadhouse. The Bond movie that year was License to Kill. Driving Miss Daisy. Man, didn't even mention the one that I will, and then I'll mention it quite quickly. My Sex, Lies and Videotape.
Oh yeah,
the movie that our podcast is named after.
Well, kind of.
We took the name.
We kind of just sounded like it.
When I first watched it, because it's always been on my radar. It's Soderbergh's first film, and I watched it for the first time. I rewatched it last night before. Mm-hmm. When I first watched it, I hated it. I was like, this movie sucks.
Right.
Rewatched it. I'm like, not bad. that
Soderbergh can be a bit like that.
I don't mind that movie. That was not a bad movie.
I know there's a few Soderbergh films that if I had watched on a different day, I would hate that I love. Something like The Limey, for instance.
The Limey, I've heard that's really good.
I reckon if I watched that on a different day, I'd hate it because it's real slow. It's real ponderous.
Yeah.
Like you just kind of get washed away in this kind of hypnotizing way.
Yeah, right.
If I wasn't up for that, if I was in a different mood, I reckon I would have been like, this is garbage.
Yeah, exactly.
This is pretentious shit. But I wasn't. I was right up for it, and now it's one of my favorites.
Out of these, because we're not going to do recommend what did you watch? Sorry, not what did you watch this week? We won't
be doing any crossing the streams.
But out of this year, what would you recommend people to watch?
Look, it's tough, isn't it? I think
mine would probably be Sex, Lies and Videotape and Do the Right Thing.
Yeah, I think Do the Right Thing is a great recommendation because I'm not sure if it really still exists in people's subconscious the way that some of these other movies from this year do.
Yeah,
like
100%.
I think it might have kind of just it's dropped away a little bit. Everyone knows Spike Lee now, but it might not be the Spike Lee film that people go to anymore. It's probably the most I've enjoyed a Spike Lee film for a really long time. Yeah,
25th Hour is my favorite movie.
Yeah, but that's like what was that? 98, 97.
25th?
Yeah.
No, 25th was 2001.
Okay, sure.
Yeah,
so that's probably the last Spike Lee movie that I really loved.
Yeah, right.
And yeah, I saw it in what? So I saw it in 2002.
Yeah.
So it's really nice to watch another one and be like, oh no, great. This is like Spike Lee. I really like what he's all about.
Yeah.
If I had to recommend one, I don't know, man.
It's Blood. It's your number 10, isn't it?
Yeah, Blood of Heroes, Salute of the Jugger. That's not for everybody. The Abyss.
I'm watching it. The Abyss.
I'll recommend The Abyss because I honestly think it's for everybody.
Yeah.
Because if you like Titanic,
there's moments for you.
You get Titanic.
Yeah. If you like Aliens, there's Aliens moments for you. Yeah, 100%.
It's got everything that James Cameron does well,
it's quite good.
all rolled up in one
Special
fucking
effects,
movie.
Exactly.
Oh my God. So good.
Well, it's not Terminator, but it's good.
Yeah, but Michael Biehn is like, he goes like full like
he
crazy
does go
mode.
quite Terminator-ish, doesn't he? Sick bastard.
Yeah.
That punch was good. God, that was a nice punch.
That's a great
that was a nice punch. A punch is always good when you land in water.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, James Cameron films water like nobody else. Even when they're in that eternity pool.
Yeah. It's still good.
It just looks
welcoming.
So
it looks
beautiful.
Warming.
Yeah. Even though it's probably
freezing.
awful. Yeah.
Tyson.
Nick.
That was 1989.
That was 1989.
I like it.
What a fucking rant.
That was lovely. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to our show.
Thank you for tolerating these ridiculously long episodes. When we do these, when we do our top 10s, we go on rants.
Yeah, but that's what they listen for.
And we end up getting like every time we enter a top 10, and I'm going to go, we'll get this one under 2 hours.
I know,
we'll get this one under 2 hours.
He tries every time.
No,
he tries every time.
Never going to happen.
Thank you for listening, ladies and gentlemen. Please like, subscribe, review, all of those things on Apple Podcasts. We would love it so much.
We would love it so much.
Follow us on all the socials, which is Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Letterboxd.
Yes, do it.
And we'll see you next week.
Next week, we're very excited, Nick.
For some Christmas
cheer. Should we tell the people what we're going to do?
Yeah. Actually.
You want to keep a lid on it?
No, let him tell him.
All right, well, it's the first of our Not Quite Christmas movie specials. We're going to do a couple before we do our actual Christmas special.
Yeah. I think we should do a vote. We'll do one of those we'll do the vote Facebook for
which one we're going to do for our actual Christmas movie.
No. Oh. I'm thinking the movie that we're just about to do.
Right.
Is it or isn't it a Christmas movie?
Oh, yes. And look, yeah. I don't. Who cares? Do you know what I like more about this question?
Yeah.
Are the people that care about it passionately either way.
100%.
Because I find that fascinating.
I think they're hilarious.
I'm like, why is this the hill you've chosen to die on? But we are doing Not Quite Christmas movie specials. We're doing probably the original movie that inspired the Not Quite Christmas movie.
That's true.
Like trope.
Genre.
Sure. Genre.
Sure.
And we're doing Die Hard. What are we talking about?
We're doing Die Hard.
We're doing Die Hard. Nick, I'm pretty excited to do Die Hard. The first movie... The first movie we talked about on this show was a Die Hard movie.
Was Die Hard with a Vengeance.
We did our welcome show and then our year
review.
We did our looking forward to the year 2017.
Yeah, 17.
And and then we did for our first movie discussion. We did Die Hard with a Vengeance.
We did. Look back at episode 3.
Oh, don't listen to that.
Go and do it. I dare you.
I might actually. That could be fun. And it's coming around again. We're almost at we'll be at episode 120 next week.
20.
And we'll be doing Die Hard.
That's lovely.
Pretty excited.
Tyson.
Nick.
It's been fun.
It has been fun.
Bye, buddy.
Bye.
Bye.